There we are.
Hi, this is Doug Patton, Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies, and you are listening to Without Your Head. And you better keep listening to Without Your Head, or you will not only be without your head, you will be without your soul, because I will tear it apart.
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
And we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil.
It's your cousin AJ.
Terrible Troy will be back next week. And we're joined by Frank Somma.
Thanks,
Bill
Somma.
Weeden.
Hey.
What's up? It's good to have you both here.
It's great to be
Writer.
here.
Yeah. So Frank,
Big Frank.
let us know the origin of Our Man Funk.
Well, that's it's a grandiose opening question. I had the tab open with the YouTube. I don't know if you realized that. I was like, oh my God, we just heard an echo.
Oh, no worries. No, we didn't hear it.
I was like, let me close that up. The origin. And so I always feel so
I think I should tell that.
inadequate to explain it in a way. But Bill, I'm sorry.
All right.
I think I should tell it.
Sure. Go. Yeah, and then we'll go back and forth.
It started with Jack Russell,
Exactly.
who saw a still of me at the airport carousel in the Once a Future Smash. He saw me standing there by the airport. You know, my first scene in the movie, and he saw me standing there, and he said, "I see you as a vigilante beating up punks at an airport." And I said, I've never thought of myself that way, but I really, really dig it. I think it's a great idea. Me as a vigilante, I love it. So we took it from there, and and we came up with a plot of sorts. And then Frank can take it from there.
Well, so I have a question though. Actually, y'all had already been talking previous about something else. Like he didn't reach out to you randomly and say like, this picture of you, it reminds me of you being a vigilante, right? You had already been discussing something else.
Well, we were discussing several things, because we were discussing stuff online. But no, we hadn't discussed anything like that. That was out of the clear blue sky. That's the way Jack operates, But
that's true.
It was out of the clear blue sky, and I sort of like grabbed onto it, and I thought, well, I can't just be a vigilante. There's got to be some kind of a story going on. And I thought maybe I'm a grandpa who becomes a vigilante, and that's what I thought would be interesting. And and then of course went through many permutations, the story, and we wound up on set taking it in another direction, because there were characters that were cut out, that we had two more family members which were cut out.
Well, let's take it a big step backwards, way before. So that's how you got involved with Jack. How did Frank become involved?
So Jack was the way Jack and I became friends and involved in everything is that we're both part of the same Discord group, the Monster Fam Discord. And he would always kind of come back. Not all, but what we do there is we stream movies, and like we'll have directors and cast come and watch the movie with us. We'll chat with them. But so then Jack would come back and be like, I'm talking to Bill Weeden. We're working on something together. And we would all be like, we were like shrugging off, like, yeah, we'd be like, sure, Jack, okay, like almost like very distant at first, because we didn't. Bill was even kind of just like, oh yeah, okay, Jack, we're working on. We didn't know the extent of what he was actually doing, which was very funny. And then one day, Bill just hit me up. He's like, Jack and I have been working on this script. We're about 10 pages in. He said you could help. And I sat there, and I had never talked to Bill in my entire life. I'd just seen him in Psycho Ape. I knew him from Sergeant Kabuki Man. And I'm like, what? Like, it made me realize Jack hadn't been pulling our leg this whole time. Like, he really was deep in like involvement in working on a project with Bill. And so then they pulled me in, and we spent a few weeks working on the script together. And then, I mean, from there, it snowballed. It was just like y'all know, like y'all all became involved, and Bill went and talked to so many people and got them involved.
So what's funny about the Discord is I was a pretty heavy Discord user for years, and there's some pretty there's a lot of cool people on Discord, but there's also some pretty weird people on Discord sometimes. And so I've done the whole thing, and everyone's anonymous mostly, and so a lot of people can come in and say whatever with like no credentials or anything, and it's kind of hard to believe. So that is pretty amazing that this spawned out of a Discord server, and then turned into like an actual production.
Yeah, it truly is. We've all known each other through Twitter. I'm sorry, Bill, go ahead.
And there was a break there of about 6 months or something where we didn't do anything because you had other obligations, and I lost touch with you for a while. But then we put it together again, and then the big thing was when AJ came on because AJ took it to the finish line.
Maybe even before that, Frank, had you ever written a script or had part of writing a script before?
A couple of times, but only for like shits and giggles, like throughout like my high school, early 20s, and then I mean, I made a couple of short films in college. Like I went for film. We made a zombie film. So yes, yeah. I mean, the answer is yes, but this is the furthest one had ever gone into like real production.
And for people not aware, what was the Discord like about? I know it's like, a group of film fans, but like what were you guys talking about before this?
The way it started was watching. We started after Joe Bob Briggs' first season of the Last Drive-In. Mm-hmm. So we called us. We were just part of the Mutant Fam at first. We had a Mutant Fam Discord, but it ended up growing beyond that, and we didn't want to like pigeonhole ourselves just into being fans of the show. And so I created this kind of shoot off or spin off, and I called it Monster Fam because we're still fans, but it was like our way of like showing homage to being fans to the Mutant Fam while also saying we're building our own community here where we can make movies or make podcasts or make YouTube shows and not have them feel like we're like riding on their name exactly. So that's where it began. We began watching along with Joe Bob and Darcy, and then we just got spun
I feel like a lot of people started doing that. It's watching along with the show because it's a great show to interact with.
Absolutely, and that's where we all learned how to interact, and we give them all praise for that and such. Like we all met on Twitter, we all interacted, and then we moved.
You actually watched movies with Joe Bob and Darcy? I didn't realize that.
I mean, I scheduled their first movie outside of Shudder. The first season, they did a Friday the 13th 4 watch along on YouTube, and that was scheduled through my website.
That's pretty wild.
That is pretty wild.
Yeah, that's and I were in like decent communication through email. Not that we were friendly, not that I know her for anything, but like we would communicate, like
yep. That is really cool because like I said, I was in some of not this Discord, but I've been a part of multiple Discords, and I tried multiple times to cultivate communities where there were creative things happening in different channels, and where people I was really pushing it like, guys, you can collaborate on stuff with people from all over the world in here. Like it's a real asset, and then it seemed that most people wanted to use it to waste time. So I'm honestly like thoroughly impressed that you guys you have so much actual like I know it's still a good like time waster, but you guys do have so much actual things being created in your Discord.
So the other thing is that people use it like people who run them are very draconian in the ways they run them. Like, this is the channel for this, and you have to do this here, and like, don't break the rules. And if you talk about this, we're gonna kick you out. Really? And we're like so open. We're like, and then people will weed themselves out if like their conversation is not, apt to the community or whatever. But I feel like that's what's allowed creative development. Like we have people who make movies in there. We have people who have YouTube channels, people who make comics. We have actors and directors. And a lot of people don't show up often, but when they do, they end up bouncing into someone. And then I'm sure there's projects I don't even know about that people are collaborating on, you know?
God, I love that.
You ever go in there, Neil?
Just recently, actually, this new guy that joined the show here is a big Discord guy, and has been pushing me to do the Without Your Head Discord for a while, and he started the Without Your Head one, and so it's not public yet, but it will be soon. That other guy's AJ, that's what I'm saying.
I just went into the Bloody Disgusting Discord today for the first time, and like AJ had said to me, "Oh, the Monster Fam, it's a good active Discord," and I was like, "Holy moly, I never really considered that." And I was looking through Bloody Disgustings, and it's active. But like you would think that them being a huge horror blog for 30 years would have this like huge community. And it's just kind of like on par with ours. And I was like, holy moly, like we really did build something pretty impressive.
You do have a very active community. So I do commend you on that. Living, breathing National Lampoon. I actually love that.
But yeah, no, so
Jack,
Yeah, I
Jack,
was just wondering, like, go on, Bill.
Jack and I always call Frank the boss because he's so fucking organized. It's so beautiful. I have no organizational skills to speak of, and Jack has even less than I do. But Frank has a real job, and he's really organized.
I won't point the camera. I won't point the camera to the right because then you'll be like, "Oh no, dang, he's not organized."
Yeah, you did good with your angle with the color-coded books.
He's our Springsteen, though. We call him the boss.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
How long did it take to write the initial script, and how different is the initial script to what was actually shot?
The initial script isn't. The plot is basically the same. It follows the same arc, basically, but it's way different because the characters are so different now. Because it was I always used to describe it, and I still describe it as Death Wish meets Parenthood, which is a weird mashup, but it really does describe the movie. It's a vigilante movie coupled with a family dramedy. You know, basically it is, and it's. I think I was talking with AJ, who's putting it together, of course, and I think what you implied to me was that AJ, that both sides of that coin seem to work, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I've read a lot of scripts, and during my time in LA, I was friends with a lot of writers, and they're constantly, pumping things out, shooting it to me. We're reading each other's stuff, and I also had to read a lot of scripts for things that I worked on. And something that I notice a lot of times is that stories don't really have some stories don't really have a lot of heart. And so, although there were things that I was questionable about, like I had a lot of questions about with the script, and I'm like, well, how is this going to work, and how is this going to work? I always knew that it had like a heartbeat to it, and I always felt that. And even when Bill will say, like, oh, we shot, it's nothing like the original script. Well, there were a lot of reasons for that, and some of them included safety, which is a big deal to me on sets. I never want anybody to get hurt, you know what I mean? And some of the things there, we just didn't really have the budget for, and but I wasn't willing to take away the voice that you guys put to the movie. Like I never wanted to take that away, and anything that I needed to change was pretty like logistical. So there was it's just hard to explain. There was a spirit to the movie, and there was, even when you read the script is zany, which, you know, a lot of our Indiegogo guys are going to end up with, you know, a copy of that screenplay, and it is zany, and I still wanted that to come across. I didn't want to dial that down and then make it some elevated thing that was totally different than what the original source material was. But there were just some things that we couldn't do, and it was hard to really realize that until we got there. And we made it work. You know, I fought with a lot of people, and I said, hey, you're gonna be real mad at me at some of this stuff, but we got to pivot. We don't have very much time, and we had a gung-ho crew with us, and they were all like, oh, we're down. I'm like, do you want to finish this? Do you want to make this? And they're like, yeah, we're down. I'm like, any problem, any issue that comes up, we have to pivot. So like all the way down to, you know, people asking for like their daycare costs to be paid for and stuff. And it's like, dude, I don't know if anybody knows how much daycare is, but it's a lot. Like it is a lot. So I'm like, oh, okay, U-turn, spin the car. Like, guys, we got to come up with something real quick and not change the vibe of the film. And not only do I think that the things didn't change the vibe, I think that the changes that we made lent to the vibe of the film. But you know, I'm a bit biased.
No, I honestly think with all the changes and all the changes that happened because they had to happen because of circumstances being what they were, I really truly believe that the movie is way, way better than we expected it to be.
What did you expect, Bill?
Yeah, well, yeah. Tell us what you were expecting.
I expected what? No, all right.
No, I you know what, I'm a standby, Bill. I agree. Even though like I like the script and everything, I think having everyone together, Jimmy shooting it,
And Jimmy
AJ
took
with
over.
like his own like twist on everything, his own like style in it. It like elevated the whole movie, I think.
And Jimmy took over the part of the dad, and he was great. I mean, that was something that.
Yeah, and I was just talking to Jimmy. He's going to be on the show soon. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to show his new trailer out later on in the program tonight.
He was great, and your character Neil was very different in the original script.
Yeah.
And you took it to a whole different level.
I am very proud. It was a character I really took a lot of time with to develop like my own take on him and how I was.
Yeah, I feel like in the original script he was more like background. Like it was we focused on the punks, and he would show up every once in a while and kind of be like a maniacal like background character. But it seems like it became its own thing.
It's totally different. It's totally different and much better. And of course, you know that two members of the family were cut out of the script.
Yeah,
we had a family of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it became.
It was the 3 kids. Well, no. Well, I mean, if you count so it was the 3 kids, the 2 parents, and the grandpa.
Mm-hmm. There were 2 kids.
But then the one that passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think we should fight about this.
Listen, I was there when they were born.
2 parents and grandpa. That's 6 people. It turned out to be 4 people.
Yeah. Okay.
No, there was a dad. It was 3 kids, a dad, a grandpa, and a mom. How many does that make?
But then,
too big of a number for me.
Like the reasons why these things happen. Like, why did some characters end up getting cut?
So explain that more than I can.
Yeah, there were a lot of reasons, and so you know, it just well, you know, we can lay it out there. We didn't have very much money to make this movie. And so production is expensive, and it gets that way. We shot in Boston, and that was, I feel like when I read the script, I never really imagined it anywhere besides the East Coast. There's a look, there's a feel to the East Coast. And I just didn't feel like we could really get that anywhere else. A lot of people told me not to. A lot of people said, don't shoot this movie over there. It's going to screw you. You're making a big mistake. And for me, I'm just kind of like a story first guy. If something's really not working for the story, then it doesn't really work for me. And so I was willing to, shave years off of my life to have this thing set in the East Coast. I had some friends that, lived in Boston, and I had just recently shot and co-directed another feature film in Boston with some people from Boston, and they were super down to lend a lot of resources that we wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. And so I'm an anti-capitalist, which also makes me very cheap. But I also understand the dollar, and I understand how much things cost. There's not one thing that I think, oh yeah, this is going to be super free. This is going to be so free, and and everybody's just going to hand us everything. I never think that.
Work for the, what do they call it? To get exposure.
Yeah, and which even when you do that,
I'm doing.
That comes with a cost. Like there is a cost for free labor, and so there was a lot of collaboration. There were a lot of things that were kind of out of my hands because it was so collaborative. And when not only am I can't pay certain people what they deserve to be there, they're there on their own time. They're coming up with ideas. They're volunteering materials. What am I? Who am I to stop that? Like it almost became a machine of its own. And so, and I needed it. I needed every drop of everything that everybody brought to that movie. So whenever it came down to like, hey, this says that, Bill is supposed to like jump on a 400-pound man's back and choke him to death, and then do this and that and this and that and this and that. And it's like, whoa. How are we going to do that? Like, how is that going to work? And then with who we had there, everyone's like, well, I can get this. I can get that. I think if we did this, we could probably make this work. I think, and I'm like, let's go. This is great. Take a piece of this, take a piece of that. And then we made it work. And so
we had a lot of help from other people like Michael J. Epstein and Cass.
Oh my God. Kaz Zellner drove a car full of gear and props and so many things that we would need. Not only that, but then was like taking care of crew. And so like, what are we, it's like, it then becomes a team movie at that point. And that's where, I love that I was so accepted into the fold on this movie, and that you guys brought me in and you're like, we'll follow your lead, but really, I don't look at it as my movie or anything like that. This was such a team effort. And, you talk about the Truett character. We did a table read, and I had not talked to Neil about this character at all, I don't think. And we went into the table read pretty cold because I just wanted to see where everybody was at. I know I get a certain image when I read this script. Frank, you probably get a certain image when you read it. Bill, you probably get a whole different one. And so to me, I'm like, I'm not going to direct everybody for this table read. Where's everybody at off of just cold reading this script? And what Neil came in and did for the table read was outrageous. Like, it was, I couldn't even believe it. And I'm just sitting there like, that's the character. Like that is literally the character. And as he's doing it, there's just so many ideas going through my mind. And I'm like, this character actually really works. And you can connect him to the punks. And I mean, it was, all the pieces were there. We just needed all the people involved to put it together. And I mean, you hand this to a completely different team, it's a completely different movie. It could be better, it could be worse, but it's going to be completely different because everybody's blood is in this movie a little bit.
I want to bring up this one. Congratulations, cousin AJ. I can't wait to see the film. And that's a kind of a question I want to lead off of, though, is Bill, why did you ask AJ? For people who don't know, I mean, a big reason, I was involved in the movie anyway because I love Bill. And then when AJ got involved, I was like, yeah, I'm, 100% in because I love AJ. And it's his first time directing. So it was really important, to not only be a part of it, but to do a really good job. So you, Bill, what was it about AJ? Because people don't know he never directed a movie before.
How I can't quite remember how or why I contacted you, AJ, about this, because I met AJ doing the Once a Future Smash, and it's impossible not to. I'm sorry, this sounds like I'm blowing smoke up people's asses, but it's not.
You want me to bend over?
Impossible not, it's impossible not to like AJ. It's just impossible. It's impossible. And hello, that's the Once a Future Smash.
Yeah,
That's the slipcover. He was great in the movie, by the way. He all but steals the movie, as far as I'm concerned. But he's great, and I loved working with him. So, but I don't quite remember why or how I contacted you about Our Man Funk. Do you remember what it was, AJ?
It's hard because a lot of things changed. I believe that you contacted me to shoot it at first.
I think that was it.
Oh yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah, so I think I was just going to shoot the movie,
Absolutely.
but
that was it. And you said I would like to direct it. So there was your idea, and I thought, oh my God, that's an incredible idea, and I loved it because I just and I gotta say I loved working with you. You're just so easy to work with. You claim you're not, but
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know about that.
Trista says the same thing, Bill. Trista, friend of me and AJ's, a former co-host here. I met her. I met her during the show, but I met her in person doing End Zone 2. And she always puts over AJ's the nicest guy, but AJ doesn't really think he is.
No, AJ thinks he's an asshole, but
although to be fair though, Trista thinks everyone's a nice person. So.
There we go. It's a good disclaimer.
But AJ thinks he's unlikable or something like that. I don't know what you think, but you don't give yourself enough credit for being a very feeling, wonderful person.
What about the movies, though?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. Let's talk about movies.
Well, you
the joke, though.
For me, you were great to work with, and I came away from that. I said, I don't want to work with anybody else but AJ ever again. It was like that's the way I feel.
So I did have a really. It's funny because in Smash, I hadn't done much acting. I'd done some stand-up comedy.
Really, End Zone 2, I think, was the first one because we filmed that first. So
yeah,
we kind of see him as the same movie, I guess. So
yeah, I do look at him as like the same project.
Yeah.
And I have to kind of give it to Michael Epstein because I worked for him and Sophia Cassiola pretty much like any time that they would ask me, and they didn't really need my help. So it was kind of cool that they were willing to, bring me into their fold and bring me onto their sets so much. And I've watched Michael make movies with nothing. And I've watched Michael make Michael J. Epstein. I've watched him make movies with absolutely nothing, and I've watched people bring movies to him that maybe were a tough sell, or they were maybe having a hard time getting them off the ground, and he, you know, would do everything he could to get them to the end. And not only that, but like help them be good. He would just give all of his expertise in these different departments, and I really learned a lot from those guys. And they kind of approached me to be in those movies, and I didn't really want to. I was just like, what? You know, don't you guys know like a lot of people? Like, why? And he's like, I think you'd be good for it, you know, and we're a really tight production and blah, blah, blah. And so when I worked with Bill the first time, and this was kind of like how I got brought on to Smash, is he says, hey, so I got this little project, you know, you ever heard of Sergeant Kabukiman, NYPD? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's great. And he's like, we got Bill Weeden. And I'm like, what? That's sick. Like, dude, I'm like, that's awesome. And he's like, you ever heard of Greasy Strangler? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, we got Michael St. Michael's too. And I'm like, dude, what? Like, this is going to be so much fun. Like, he starts telling me the idea. It's like a live action cartoon, and which is right up my alley. I'm like, this is perfect. And so I'm super nervous. I'm super nervous going to shoot with these guys. I'm not really well prepared because I'm not an actor. And so I just did what I could to kind of get prepared. And I feel like I'm screwing the whole production up. Every time I have a scene, I'm like, I'm bombing. This is embarrassing. I'm the worst guy here. This is crazy. These guys, especially once I met Bill, I'm like, Michael is pretty naturally like sinks into like Michael St. Michael's. He pretty naturally sinks into his character, which is like him. But Bill, you can tell, is like classically trained. Like Bill is like the real deal, you know? And so I'm sitting with Bill in these scenes, and I'm just feeling like this big, dude. I'm just like, I'm like rotting this guy's scenes. Like, this guy is murdering. He's nailing every single thing. And not only that, but he's giving it everything. He's leaving nothing on the table, and he's going for it. And I'm in my head doing this, and he just unprompted, you know, it's one of these moments where they go, all right, cut. Me and Bill are doing a scene, and they're like, all right, cut. They're clearly not happy with what just happened. Like, they clearly don't like the take, and they don't say anything. They just turn back to each other and start like huddling and whispering. And I'm sitting there like, this is it. This is where I get fired from this movie and written out of it. And then Bill turns to me, and I didn't even know him that well. I think it was one of the first couple days we met, and he's like, you are really good. Like, this is going to be good because we work really well together. You're really like bouncing off of me. And I'm like, is this guy joking right now? Like, I don't really understand. Like, and I just didn't really trust it. And then as we filmed, I realized like Bill's pretty genuine and doesn't really
It'll tell you when you're really bad as well.
Yes. and which you know, I'm not gonna name any, but he did tell a couple of people that they were not like, he's like,
we're not gonna work together ever again.
He's like, this guy does not know his lines. He needs to pick it up because I'm in here, and it's like, you know, there were some tough spots, but he really kind of boosted me in that moment. And then I started, I was like, you know what, maybe I'm not that good, but I'm good for this, and I'm good with this guy, and I'm playing his assistant, and it was just so easy to work with Bill. And we, you know, I really just, I don't know, when we left that shoot, I was like, damn, I love this guy. This is like a great guy, you know, and I hope that more people can get to know him like that. And I think that's why people gravitate towards Bill so much.
I think that Michael and Sophia cast Michael St. Michael's and me partly because they saw the character, who we are as the characters too. Because Michael St. Michael's, the character he plays is a a curmudgeon of sorts, right?
Something like that.
You might describe Michael St. Michael as that. He's a great person, but
Mhm.
and I'm kind of a nerdy. I have my nerdy qualities, and that's sort of what they saw there too. I think
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
that, and there was also a practical thing. Was that Michael's? I knew you, but not that well at that time, and they knew you really well, and I knew Michael St.
we met
Michael's really well, and
We met
so it was a practical kind of thing too. Like I knew one, and they knew the other one. So,
right. You and I met in
but
person
it was perfect casting.
that weekend, right, Neil?
Yeah, I had you on the show before that, but we didn't know each other too
Oh,
well.
that's right.
Yeah,
But
I
we
met
never
you through Paul McElharney.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah.
Which is where I met Michael St. Michael's too.
Yeah, it's where I met Michael Epstein as well through
Yeah,
Paul.
Inevitable Force.
Yeah.
That movie that we did in Boston.
Mhm.
So yeah, just leaving that set, I really was like, oh man, I hope I can stay in touch with these guys. And I didn't have to hope too hard because I ended up going to multiple birthday parties of Michael St. Michael's after that, and just watching hilarity ensue every time. Taking that guy out in public is very funny, by the way. He is himself through and through. And then I never really lost contact with Bill. Like we were always still in contact. We were always friends after that. And I don't know, it was just an instant connection. So when he started telling me about this film that you guys wrote, and then I read the script and I was like, yeah, I can shoot it. And full circle, I was slated to shoot Special Needs Revolt at one point.
Right.
And I was pretty deep into meetings with them, and it just didn't work out. They had to go some different directions, and I always wish still that I could have shot that movie. I see it. It would have been fun, man. And I see it being promoted all over the place, and I'm like, I wish I could have. Like, I really wish that I could have gone out there. And I was just in a tight place where I really couldn't put my own money up and do stuff for free at that point. I was really scraping by. And then when Bill's thing came along, whenever Our Man Funk came along, I was in a little bit of a different place in my life. And so I'm like, yeah, I can come shoot this thing. That's totally fine. We'll make it work. Who's the director? And I was like, well, there's no director. And, I kept coming to production meetings, and there were a lot of people involved. And I just thought, like, I've watched Michael Epstein do this for a long time. I've watched a lot of people that I really respect do this. I've always, been a director at heart, but I have this thing where I'm like, I need to take a back seat and learn. And then once that movie came along, I'm just like, dude, stop it. Like, just stop, just go, just do it. And then I asked Bill, and he's like, absolutely, let's go, let's do this. And so, I really appreciate, I think I waited so long for this reason, to be with a group like you guys who was so collaborative, not only collaborative, but you had a cool idea. And I think a lot of people would read that script and be like, yeah, I don't.
We wrote it on purpose.
Yeah,
to get rid of those people.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
I showed the script to Michael Epstein way early in the process, and Michael is really, really bright and
super smart.
Super smart, and he gave me several, like a novel of notes, and I loved about half of them and didn't love about half of them. And I told him, I'm not going to use all your notes. They said, I don't expect you to. Nobody should ever use everybody's notes. That's true. I used some of them, and And
That's a funny lesson to learn, though. It's like, yeah, no one expects that.
Some people do though, and so it's good. I like where you guys stuck, like the things that you stuck to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even when I went to go get people to help, when I like went to go reach out to my people, I knew exactly who I could and couldn't reach out to. I knew the people that would I don't know, like, and that would tell me no or tell me not to do the project. And then I showed Jimmy and I said, listen, I need you to read this script, dude. I need your help so bad. It's zany. It is wild. It's a wild script, but there's something to it. And I think that you'll see it. And Jimmy is very critical. Me and Jimmy have gotten into some leave each other's house arguments. Are you, you know what I mean? Like,
no, they didn't eat babies.
Yeah, we've gotten into some middle school girl arguments where, I mean, he's like, you know what, dude, I'm just gonna go home, dude. You don't even really know what you're talking about. And, you know, door slams, and I'm like, fine, whatever. And you know, and then we're cool later on. And so I knew Jimmy could be 50-50 on whether he'd be into the movie or not. And I sent it to him. I said, just go check it out, you know, read. If you don't like it, just tell me and I'll go screw myself and I'll go talk to somebody else. He calls me back and I'm like, what's up, man? And he's like, dude, this is pretty awesome, dude. He's like, there's something here for sure, bro. This is hilarious, bro. And I'm like, yes, I got Jimmy. Like, Jimmy's down. And so that really started to roll the wheel. And I mean, dude, every person that came on believed in it like that. It was kind of crazy.
There's a person that's been posting. It says Indica Jane. That's
That's Cass.
That's Cass.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You just blew her cover, dude.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Oh wow, Adam Peltier.
Hey, Adam Peltier.
Adam blew that role out of the water. So
oh
that was
God.
A role
like
that I originally was going to play that character, and
you will.
Even before the other guy, and I don't think I would have done. It wasn't right for me, but it was perfect for Adam.
Adam was brilliant in that part,
and in my opinion, I was really good for Truett. So it worked out for the best.
Yeah. Were you going to play Izzy at one point?
Yep.
Yeah, you would ask me and Michael. This was way early on. So
I didn't know. I forgot that because there were a couple of people that wanted to play Izzy. Zach Amico was going to play Izzy at one point.
He came on after. But originally it was me and Michael were the two. You asked Michael to play the one, and you asked me to play Izzy.
Yeah, right.
This is a big like behind the curtain thing because it really, I mean, if you think about like a snowball rolling down a hill, I mean, that's kind of the best way to put it because there were people that got sucked up by the snowball and then they flew off the snowball at some point. Yeah, I mean, and you never saw him again, never heard from him again, and that's the nature of things, man.
That's Cass.
Yeah, you exposed her again.
You're hoping they didn't hear the first time.
We love you too, Adam.
I'm a big I'm not like a big religious guy or anything like that, but I'm really big in like what's supposed to happen is going to happen. And you know, I get pretty angry sometimes when, you know, things are just working against me, it feels like, but for all of that stuff to happen and then, you know, to get Adam involved, it was like a dream, you know. So we had multiple people like that, just like.
And Adam is of course, as a lot of people know, but he's the lead in the latest Trauma movie, which hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, we're gonna ride his coattails, Bill.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's that movie, Bill?
Adam's going to be a big selling point for Our Man Funk, I think, you know, because by the time Our Man Funk comes out, I think Pop-em, as they call it, it's the power of
positive murder, which is why. So when we went to this convention last weekend, Susie Snowflake, Bill's agent and mine, got banners printed, and she kept on getting Bill's banner sent back for something, some sort of policy thing, and they wouldn't tell her what. And it wasn't the word murder; it was the word positive next to murder. And she wouldn't tell her. They wouldn't explain. It took her 6 hours to figure it out. It was
That's so weird.
That's how you know you got a good movie, when the title of the movie alone is jamming up policies behind the counter. Like
the algorithm just can't figure it out.
It's like it's screwing it so bad. I'm really excited about that movie as well, especially after meeting Adam, and then we had a lot of people on our set that were involved in that movie, and
is the female lead in that too? It's Adam and Debbie are the two leads.
Oh my God, I'm like.
Yeah,
I'm pretty, everything I see for that movie, I'm like, this is going to be a pretty exciting one.
I've got a nice little part in that, and I have a scene with Adam where we're smoking a joint, and I pass him a joint. And of course, I don't smoke marijuana at all, so I had to like fake that for sure.
Was it real?
Nah, it wasn't real.
Depends on what state you were in.
I didn't even put it in my mouth, but I do something. I don't, one of the things where I'm still holding it in my, and trying to talk. It was funny. I think it was funny.
Yeah, that's God, man, it's so funny. The cast and crew does kind of make the film. It's insane. Getting Adam was really wild, and especially the way that we got him was just so. It didn't seem real. I thought I was being pranked, honestly. I was just like, oh yeah, sure, you're just gonna be in this movie now, okay. Like, I'm sure.
It was awesome.
And then he did. I mean, he did more than just be in the movie. He came in and helped out with crew. He helped out with a ton of stuff. That's like a really stand-up guy, like, for sure.
And spoiler alert,
wait, is this a real spoiler?
Well, is it a spoiler?
Or are you making a joke? Are you really about to do a real spoiler, or are you making a joke right now?
Maybe I shouldn't say it. But there was a scene where he scared me because I thought he was actually getting drowned.
Oh yeah,
because he's such a good actor. It's like, it was amazing. I was absolutely scared.
Okay, so
you didn't stop.
I think yeah, I think that we have like praised me enough to show some blind spots, but I was definitely a little sleepy, and that was totally my fault, and I was just like, what is going on here? And yeah, Adam goes for it. He goes for it every single take.
Totally.
Like, you get these actors sometimes that are like, can't we just like show my face turn, and then we can like have somebody else run or something? Like, I don't really. Adam is not like that. Adam does everything that you see. He does it, and he does it every single take. And so yeah, Bill almost really drowned him. One time.
It felt that way. I was actually, I mean, I sort of knew that he was acting, but it was so real that I was actually scared. I was very glad when that scene was over, because even though I think it probably looks good on screen, right, AJ?
It looks amazing from what I've seen, but yeah.
But it was scary. We lucked out with the kids too. The kids are great. The two grandchildren, they're just amazing.
Now, Frank, how does it feel? Because you weren't on set. You were there for a day. Yeah, which that was the day that I got to meet you. I'm like, buddy, get in here. I don't know if you know what we had been through by that day, but
you were more than halfway through, so I can't even imagine. You all look battle torn.
Well, we wrapped at we got everybody into their hotel rooms about 4 a.m. the night before, and then we had to be across town at that venue at 7 or 8 a.m. So I think I was going on about 2.5 hours of sleep that day, and it was gnarly. That was a brutal day. But as soon as I saw you, I'm like, you showed up at the perfect time, because we're actually shooting crowd cameos right now. So get in here. And That was awesome.
What was funny is me and Amy thought towards, because like whatever, I guess that is kind of how we would normally dress anyway. I don't normally wear like ripped jeans type things. Like that was to be like Bill. But you're like, you guys are normal looking people here. We're like, we're not trying to be normal. We thought we were going to be fitting in, but like we totally were just like still normal looking compared to all the white leather and shit.
There's a room in the back where everybody is freaking out and dancing and playing rock and roll, blah 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 blah. And Frank and Amy come in and they're like tourists. They walk into the room and they turn right around and come out. It's so funny.
It's so funny. It worked out really well.
Kind of like a metaphor for like our experience on the whole movie. It's like, here we are. Oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Okay, bye.
Dude, literally.
See you guys later. Maybe we'll see you in a little bit. But it was amazing. It was an awesome, it was so cool. Bill and I had like not seen each other in a few months. Like you said, like I hadn't talked to any of y'all during the production. Like I kind of just watched the Indiegogo materialize, and then to show up on set and to like see some of the characters and see some of the world we built. It was like, it was surreal. Like I know that there's been a ton of changes, but it was so interesting to be like, holy moly, like they really are just filming the things for the most part that we wrote. And then to meet you and to meet everyone, and because like you've said, it's a community building thing and you have to like give up parts of it because other people are offering what they are offering or whatever. And like Jack came up with the idea, you know, him and Bill built it, and then we all wrote it, and then Bill ran with it. And it's like, I walk in and it's like, I felt like you were so welcoming. I felt like everyone was so welcoming, because sometimes you hear the whole idea of well, the writer isn't even welcome on the set or something like that. Like, it's like, well, now that the writer's part is done, they're done or whatever. And so I didn't know how I was going to be, not that Jack, I want to reiterate, Jack should be on this screen right now with us. Jack came up with the idea. He wrote a tremendous amount of it. We all wrote it together. But then to show up and to have y'all just be so welcoming, like, oh, y'all are part of this project. I was like, oh no, this is a community. This is like, we are making this movie together. And so I want to thank you, like, because you were so very welcoming that day.
Dude, I'm not there without you guys writing that thing. So it's really just, you know, all these different things coming together, and it's a pretty cool world. And, you know, I think I could probably talk tough sometimes and be like, get this guy out of here. When it comes to the moment, man, and I'm sitting there looking at somebody in their eyes, and I can feel what they feel about the project, it's a no-brainer for me, dude. Like, you know, if you would have showed up and been a weird vibe, I probably would have been too.
This is making the whole set weird. Like,
yeah,
like,
but
maybe this guy could go wait outside. Billy was outside. Billy Kanye is in the chat right now. He was like, and like, we're talking about how everyone had different roles. I walk up and he's like the doorman for a second. He's like, no, I'm just making sure no one steps in right now. Like, everyone took their spot, you know?
Well, and that was because it's supposed to be nighttime. And so every time somebody opened that giant door to the thing, the sun would just be like, ah, and it would just beam through the entire place. And I'm like, somebody lock that door. Like, what? Like, what are we doing right now? And yeah, then we put a bodyguard out there. So
oh yeah, he was a good bodyguard. He was on the phone when I got there, but he still stopped us.
Yeah, Lucky 13 Saloon's awesome.
Lucky 13 is where we shot, and that place will forever be in my heart. And that wasn't I didn't bring that. That was fully Cass and Brian Northrup were like,
okay.
This is our Brian too, yeah. Shout out to Brian. They're like, this is our spot. This is where we need to go. And I'm like, you guys think we're gonna go all the way to New York? And best thing that we did. That was the bet for morale, for everything. We also picked up additional crew members while we were out there, and they came back to Boston with us.
It's like a dead tour.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, like a dead tour. I mean, there's BTS footage floating around out there somewhere. If I ever hunt down the guy and find him, there's going to be a pretty cool documentary about this movie.
What do you mean hunt down that guy? I remember him so well from that day too. What was his name?
I don't think he lives in this country, bro.
But he was there at Lucky 13, and I remember him telling me what he was doing.
So that's what there is some BTS footage of this magic that was going on, and I say magic, it's everything. It's people collaborating, it's people getting into arguments, it's people making mistakes, it's people coming up with big wins out of nowhere. It's there's probably some pretty incredible footage on there. You probably have to travel to across the seas to find that footage. It's out there though. It's pretty interesting. It's out there.
This is spread. It's like a virus.
So, Bill, what was it like for you to finally see the trailer, the finished trailer, after all this time trying to get the movie made, having different people involved? It finally gets filmed, and then you get to see
the trailer is great. I mean, I'm not supposed to say that much about it, right? Because I've been sworn to secrecy.
I mean, you can talk about it. We're not,
your words won't reveal the video.
Yeah. Just how did you feel about it?
It's a fantastic trailer. It's exciting. It's I've seen it many times. Not 200 times like Neil did, but I've seen it a lot.
No, I don't know. I watched you watch it like 15, 20, 30 times the other day, like on repeat.
I've seen it several times more. I discussed it with
he couldn't figure out what was going on. He was like holding the speakers to his ears. He's like, "What is this?" I told him what he said a few times, but it's like you just wanted to hear it for yourself.
This is our man Funk, the expose. This is hilarious.
But as AJ confirmed, which I knew already, but AJ sort of like nailed it. That what you see in that trailer is just a very, very small percentage of the movie.
Oh yeah.
The movie has a lot.
I hope so. I hope the movie's longer than 2 minutes.
No. I think what he's saying is it doesn't really give the plot at all.
I know.
Right. And
I'm just teasing.
But the trailer is bang, 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 and that's not the style of the movie. The style of the movie there's a lot more quiet scenes and heartfelt scenes and stuff like that. The trailer is beautiful. I love it, and I think it's gonna make people want to see the movie, which is basically what a trailer's for, right?
I'm gonna also bring in our guests that are coming up. They're going to join us here. We'll all be on the air for a little while. Yes, James Balsamo, Bill Victor Arucan.
Bill, looking good in your Die Star shirt.
I met James the weekend we shot the Once and Future Smash. You were at the next booth.
That's right.
And
he berated AJ.
I did.
He's been hated. He's been hated in the Carolinas ever since.
I was a catch of the day too.
Before that too, though, is
and I was in Hollywood.
Right. I love working with you, Bill. You're amazing. Always such a funny cameo in whatever you're in.
And James and I do an awesome Abbott Costello bit, and people they can't tell what's real or not. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
When do you do that? Where and when do you do that?
One-time show.
Yeah.
If you missed it, you missed it.
So yeah, we're looking forward to the trailer. Now, this is a question for AJ. When will the trailer be available for everyone?
Pretty soon. We pushed it out for the convention exclusively, but we got some technical tweaks to make on it, and I hope to release it very, very soon. It might be published somewhere. I can't really say where just yet, but I'm very excited. Stay tuned.
And just to kind of like before we do wrap it up, I Heart Horror Convention is where we were at this past weekend in Jersey. Those guys are amazing. Chris and his brother Greg, I can't pronounce their last name, but Kalinu or something to that effect. They've been running Cuneo. Thank you. They've been running the convention for 4 years now. They gave the Susie and her people their own room, the trauma room, and we had a screen set up where we had the Without Your Head logo up for half the day while we weren't. running the trailer, which was pretty cool. Yeah. it just felt like we were like promoting things. And then at one point we did get to turn the lights off and turn the thing, and like maybe there were 15 people in the room. It wasn't huge, but it felt so cool because the artist for Toxic Avenger screams, "Oh, that's Mark!" at one point, and I'm like, "Oh, like this isn't just like it was big attention, like it was good attention, you know." So it was awesome.
Sweet.
See the T-shirt?
Yeah,
Nice.
Our Man Funk.
Our Man
Bar
Funk.
of Soap. What does that mean? You have to watch a movie to find out.
Yeah, you do.
Bill always cleaned up nicely, right, Bill?
And
Makes one of us.
so thank you for letting
Yeah,
us know.
you guys are welcome back anytime. We'll have you guys on more often as Funk starts
Absolutely.
to roll out here.
But
I
we'll
like-
pass it. It was good to meet you, James.
Yeah, it's good to meet you.
you, Bill,
Pleasure.
and we'll pass it off to y'all.
And Bill Victor, right?
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, we
name,
got
Bill.
double bills here.
Yeah.
Other
All right,
Bill.
thanks, guys.
See you.
Our Man Funk. Where can people find you, Frank?
Well, where can they find me?
at
Come
your
to the
house.
Discord. Come to
Oh.
oh my god, come to the Discord. Find the Monster Fam Discord. Go to Mutant Theater on Twitter and find the link from there, and click on our Discord and just come hang out with the whole community.
Sweet. And
It's awesome
Bill,
Discord.
they can find you everywhere.
They can find me on Facebook as Bill Weeden. They can find me on Instagram as Billy Weeds. And they can find me on TikTok, I guess, as Billy Weeds, too.
Oh, really? You're on TikTok. All right.
Yeah, that's surprising. Even my girlfriend said that one.
He's a big TikTok star, Bill Weeden. Huh?
We're gonna go find that tonight.
You didn't start that OnlyFans yet, Bill?
God, he's gonna be messaging me about that later. Later, guys.
You guys.
Got to find out what it is. Yeah, right.
Oh, don't play dumb with us, Bill. We know you're willing. All right.
We just,
I'll take you out. I'll take you out. All right. That was great. Now we got a James Balsamo. I think you either have the record or you're in the top 3 for most appearances on the show. So you have to keep coming back to maintain the record. And the
That's
first time on the show, Bill Victor, how do you say the last name?
Arucan.
Arucan. All right. It was just like it's spelled. So It Wants Blood 2. Give the folks an idea of what It Wants Blood 2 is about.
Bill, you want to take it away?
You do. You started off.
Okay. So, in a land where kaiju battles are a national treasure, it's up to Bill Victor Arucan and myself and Coolio to stop Russia from taking over the kaiju scene. And Weird Al has to save our butts.
And this is all real. James
All
is not
real.
making this up. Yeah.
No, it's Coolio's last movie, and
Oh.
Weird Al's in it. It's got a ton of really fun cameos in it. Charles Wright, a.k.a. The Godfather. D'Lo Brown's in it. Ken Soges is in it. And,
Rikishi.
Rikishi. A mad
Back
science.
that ass up.
So,
That's a reference to Rikishi, if people didn't know. So,
oh yeah, they do.
I'm a big wrestling guy, so yeah. Can we get
So
to see you in the ring for a little bit?
Right into it. Rikishi forced me to take a stink face on set. Rikishi shows up. He's all, "Get in the corner." I'm all, "Please, no." And so I ducked it. In the behind-the-scenes footage, you can see me barely sliding under Rikishi's fanny and escaping a treacherous stink face. But then he was like, Don't go anywhere. You get in that corner. You take that stink face."
Well, that's a memorable experience, I would assume.
Do you know what an honor that is? There's a girl that showed up to his booth like 3 times asking for one, and he's like, "I cannot do this. I'm so sorry." And she's like, "Give it to me. Give it to."
I know. I saw that video. I was like, he passed it out to me. He was like, "You get in there." I'm rubbing my Heidi in your face. You're getting pink eye. I was like, "Please, not the stink guy."
At least we got the dance.
Yeah.
We got to do the dance.
It's no fun if they enjoy it. Part of the fun is if they're not enjoying it.
No shit.
He
That's
was
hilarious.
blessed to work with. He's so funny. I mean, he did like a character voice. It was wacky, amazing.
What was he, Dr. Coco?
Dr. Coco, yeah.
Yeah, and you said like cameos, but Weird Al's in it quite a bit. Weird Al's really good in the movie.
He's
like,
great.
Really good.
Yeah,
Like,
like
I
you could
sent
tell he's
him
into
like
it.
dialogue, and he memorized it. It was crazy. He showed up to set. He knew his lines. Very professional for somebody
yeah.
named Weird Al. I
Oh.
mean,
He's beloved.
Bill, how did you meet James? How did you get involved with James?
You know, I met James back in, I think, 2020, and we were watching another premiere of another movie, and a common friend said, "Hey, James, if you work with James, he'll get you in a lot of movies." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, right, sure." And James invited me for It Wants Blood 1, which was an awesome film also. And that was my first start with James, and I've done so many films with James. It's been an incredible ride.
What was it like, James? What made it like, oh, this is a guy like did you have like the same sense of humor? Like this just works?
yeah, Bill and I just kind of clicked instantly. You know what I mean? We became real close buds fast. You know what I mean? And Bill and I came up with some wacky ideas, and Bill was like, "Oh, what if we do that?" And I'm a guy that's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then
Yeah.
before you know it, we had a dozen movies under our belts together.
It was like feeding off of each other. I would take a scene to a certain aspect of it, then James I'm going to top that, and then he had to top the next one. So it was just amazing how the chemistry worked in all the scenes. James would always say, "No, go bigger," and it just got crazier each time. And yeah, I love number 2, and number 1 though was really good too.
See, kaiju.
Yeah.
How fun it is? Did you ever think when you started making stuff like I'm gonna start making kaiju movies at some point?
Well, I mean, I always liked Godzilla films as a kid. And I've been working with James
It seems like it's like to me it would be like you need a lot to be able to make a kaiju movie, even if it's not a $1 million movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been working with Jeff Zorno for 15 years, who draws the official Godzilla comic book for IDW and stuff. So like, Jeff and I have always been talking about kaiju stuff for a long time. So, I dig Mothra and Gamera and all the pals of Godzilla.
Ghidorah.
Yeah,
My
Godzuki,
guy.
you name it.
And Godzuki.
Godzuki. The little girls and the pearls. I dig all that stuff. So, when I made It Wants Blood, it was like, okay, this is the kaiju one.
Now you started like sculpting your own stuff too.
Yeah, so in It Wants Blood 2, I sculpted the feet for Bill's monster, and Hunter Jackson made the body, and Joe Castro made the heads for the monsters. So,
Friend of the show. We love Joe Castro.
Yeah, we love Joe.
Yeah.
Oh. But when did you start like sculpting your own stuff? Because I see you on Facebook, and like it just seems like the last few years you started doing that.
Oh no, I've been sculpting since I was a
really?
kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Fangoria magazine in 2016 did a 2-page article on me about sculpting and doing effects and stuff like that.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's okay.
But no, I think that's awesome though, because I'm a huge fan of like claymation and stuff. So when you started like adding more of that into your movies, like the stop motion, like to me that's like super fun.
Yeah, so I don't do any of that. Richard Svensson, the lone animator, he's in Sweden. He does all that stuff, and he's like Ray Harryhausen. He takes it like super serious. So like I have to commission something like 6 months in advance because it's such a tedious process. He has to like hand make the puppet, and then you move it, and you take a picture. You move it, you take a picture. It's like
He doesn't cheat.
You know what I mean? He just sent me some footage yesterday for a movie that I forgot I was making that I commissioned like 4 months. I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted that. I forgot. Thank you. He's like, here you go. Here's this thing. I'm like, oh, I gotta finish that. That reminds me.
What do you think of that, Bill? When you see the claymation, the stop motion?
When I first saw it, I'm like, man, this is so cool. It was just like back in the 80s, all the great films. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Argonauts, Jason and the Argonauts. Love it.
Yeah, that's actually I think the stuff from that still holds up. I think it's one of the best scenes still with the skeletons from Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah. And we did a few movies with James, other ones like Alien Danger, and a lot of stop motion in those films as well. But James knows what he's doing.
When I started reading this, I thought you said tedious is a good word to also describe Neil, but you meant stop motion.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're going to keep incorporating since you've got this kind of core team put together?
Yeah. I mean, I've been working with Richard probably around the same time I started working with Bill, So I love stop animation and practical monsters, you know what I mean? I always try to put some stuff in there. And I like, I was very anti-CGI growing up. I was always a rubber monster kid. I said a fake head looks like a fake head forever. It looks great. But as I get older, I'm starting to, appreciate modern technology. And there's even some AI stuff
I was going to bring this up,
in this movie, yeah.
Because I myself used to be very anti-AI. Didn't want it like anywhere around the show. And then as it got better, and I was like, I use it every once in a while for like the thumbnails. And sometimes people get mad about that, but I think I see it as a tool. So I don't know what are your opinions on?
Yeah, exactly. The more tools you have in your tool shed, like the easier it is to cut up a body. And I mean, I'm always cutting up a movie and need whatever I need to Frankenstein it together. So,
Yeah, and who doesn't like a movie and who does like a monster in a movie, right?
Yeah, and honestly, the AI, I believe a lot of it's in the end scene with Weird Al. I don't want to give the movie away. Yeah. It looks great, and when I was watching it, I'm thinking, well, if you didn't use AI, you'd do CG, and it would take you forever, and it would be the same idea anyway. So why not do it some way that, people make these movies don't have endless money, so why not use it?
Yeah, and I mean, we did have Weird Al in front of a green screen, and
right.
He's like, I'm turning into a Weird Owl, and I think that hit the cutting room floor. There is a shot of Weird Al where he's like that's really from him.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I think some people think if you even mention AI, they just think you just typed like 2 words in and it made the whole movie or something. But that's not, if you want it to look good, you have to incorporate like real photos or real video.
Caleb Emerson, who was the editor for Tosh.0, cut this movie. Good buddy of mine. Also, old school Trauma alum. He did Die You Zombie Bastards, which is coming out on a re-release. His friend did all the AI stuff. You know what I mean? He threw it in as like a surprise. He was like, oh, I'm working on this thing. And he was like, oh, can I cut a scene? And he threw it in. And he was like, is this okay? And I was like, I love it. It's great.
Yeah,
especially
it looks great, honestly.
With, like Kaiju Coolio. And I was like, oh my God, that's AI? That's crazy. That looks like the stop animation. I love it. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And if you don't like it, it's done already. So
no, I really like it. And the thing is, like bigger movies are going to use it. So why should like indie people be like limited and like
Well, that's where the caveat comes in, is that we're, as indie guys, we're already fighting with both hands and one leg tied behind our back. And, these guys are fighting with tanks and, fighter jets. And so it's like, how do we even the playing field? Like it's
you got one leg free?
I'm
tied. What are you talking?
The only reason I have one leg free is because it's a prosthetic, so I can pull it off. Yeah. It was tied up too.
On the competition.
Hey.
I was trying to grab it here. So someone sent me this for my birthday for some reason, but
there it is.
They did it.
I don't want to troll AJ.
There's my foot.
Now you know the true meaning of defeat.
They said it was incinerated. That's what they told me.
Oh no.
Really? Is that what it?
Yeah, that's what they do. They incinerate them. Or else they'd just be sitting on like horror fans' mantles. You know what I mean? They'd find a way to get them off eBay or something. They have to incinerate chopped off body parts.
Yeah, I feel like this is like really lame comparing the two in any way. But when they took my belly button, I did joke with the surgeon Now I was like, can I get it to like dry it out and make a wallet? And then he just looked at me, and then he started to explain how they can't give me like any of the the tissue they got, and I was like, no, I was just joking. Yeah, but
Unless he said yes, then you weren't joking.
then I'd be like, oh, then, yeah, here's my cool wallet. It's my old belly button. But Bill's probably wondering what the fuck did I?
Where are we? How'd we get here?
James wonders that every time. But Bill, what kind of? Because I've talked to James many times. Like, what kind of movies like inspired you when you're growing up to like, someday I would like to make movies or be part of movies?
For me, again, all the stop motion movies like the Argonauts, but really it was the wrestlers. So I love
nice.
wrestling. So it was all about the wrestlers. And for all the movies that I did with James, he got some really cool wrestlers, my fan favorites, that I had to be part of it. So like, The Godfather. I mean, our birthdays are like a day apart from each other. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to role play with the Godfather or act with the Godfather. Then there's Rikishi. But there's been so many across all the films that like it was like a fanboy's dream come true.
How do you James, I don't want to say like how do you get these guys on, but what's it like to work with the wrestlers? Because they have experience sort of acting, I guess. And also I think that they'd be good at kind of like ad-libbing stuff.
They are. They're great at ad-libbing. That's what I love. You know what I mean? So Bill and I go in there with like a loose treatment of like what the scenes are going to be, and I kind of give them the lowdown. And then a lot of them add like great dialogue. And then if I'm like, well, let's do another take, they just put me in a headlock, and they're like, no, I think we got it. And then we'll move on.
Or they throw you in the corner and stick their ass.
Yeah, or they just like rub their butt in my face, and I'm just like, okay, we got it, moving on. No more takes. You're free.
Now, for some people out there who Rikishi's butt's is not doing it for him, but that's very few people. There is also a lot of other booty in the movie.
Lots.
Of the female variety.
Always here at Acid Bath Productions. And
it's a very awkward way to say that, but yeah.
Yeah. There's always a lot of nude female models on set. I like to say I have the breast film company in the business.
It's not a Balsamo film if there's no beast, blood, or boobs.
And breast. Oh, okay.
The old Don Doler saying, you know what I mean? The 3 Bs.
Yeah.
And of course with Balsamo, so yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's not a Balsamo movie if Balsamo's not there.
Right.
Well, we've got the Die Star Pictures shirt.
We gotta get you one of those, AJ.
Dude, you always have killer artwork, man. I love the artwork.
Send me your address. I'll send you one of those guys.
Oh yeah, say less. Bill, you're such a charming, sweet guy. How do you like the contrast of playing like an evil? I'm just from talking to him. I'm like, this is a very sweet guy. Like he's just very kind. But like, do you want to play more bad guys?
You like playing the villain, Bill? Bill?
I can't hear Al.
Oh no, can't hear AJ. AJ was saying you're a really sweet guy. Do you enjoy playing villains? Would you like to play more bad guys?
I've played bad guys for James, and I it's really cool because being a good guy is nice, but like in wrestling, you have more fun playing the bad guys.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely enjoy playing the bad guys more.
And Bruno Bastien, you think he's innocent, but then he's really a bad guy too. He's a typical politician.
Yeah.
Greasy.
I should credit James more because honestly, I often say that Smash and End Zone's my first feature film, but the first feature film I was ever in was a James Balsamo movie.
Ooh.
He was the one who saw potential in Nasty Meals. Like, I think there's something in this guy.
You're hilarious and cool as hell too. I love that. Yeah. I love that role.
I had a great time. I honestly had a great time. I always have a great time with you on the show or around you. You're just a fun guy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You too, Neil.
Well, thank you.
So if you haven't seen the movie, Neil's bit is really funny. Your brother's in it too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they trick Neil into picking a leaf. It'll give him a very large wiener if he picks this leaf, but they're really sacrificing him to some kind of creature if he picks this leaf. And he's like, "Oh boy, I'm gonna get a large wiener," or whatever he says, and then he gets murdered. It's amazing.
Yeah. I gained 180 pounds for that role.
Yeah.
That's what I like to tell people anyway. But, you know.
Yeah, good times.
Where can people see It Once Blood too?
So It Wants Blood will be available. I just approved it. It'll be out in 2 weeks, and wherever movies are sold. So Walmart and all over the internet, Amazon. You know, wherever you get your DVD.
Yeah, your favorite place to get them.
Yeah, FYE.
Yeah, and if you see you in person, and whenever you see James in person, it's a fun time. Except for if he's got some idiots around there filming a movie that get in his way.
Oh my god. Bill's never gonna let that down. They were like filming a movie on top of my table at a convention. I'm all, get away from me. Laying across my entire table for a week. Like Burt Reynolds on a furry rug. I'm all, Neil, go away. He's all, that hurts my feelings. I'm all, I don't care. Get out of here.
I really do feel bad about it, but you know, I also find it funny at the same time. So.
I think you have to watch It Wants Blood 1 before you see It Wants Blood 2.
Yeah. So where can you see It Wants Blood 1? The same places, I assume.
Also on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and wherever movies are streaming. It Wants Blood is streaming everywhere right now. Go watch it. What are you waiting for? See Bill and myself and Eric Roberts. And
Eric, I forgot to mention Eric Roberts, who's always entertaining in anything.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he lives down the block from me, so I love where.
Oh, really? He just
Eric, you want to see the movie? He's all, yeah.
I got nothing going on for the afternoon. Let's do it. Yeah. But no, he's always really fun, and it is funny to see Eric Roberts. He'll pop up in like this giant movie, and then he'll do some weird movie. And I've heard him in an interview. He just said he just really does like to act.
Yeah, he does. He works more than anybody I ever know. Like, he'll do a movie for me, and then the same day he'll leave, and he's like, I gotta go do 6 more pictures. I'll see you later.
Then the new Batman or something.
Yeah.
And it's sad that that's Coolio's last film. But what was Coolio like?
Okay, let me tell you this Coolio story. Bill and I were in Vegas, and it was like a unicorn stumbled upon us. It was my birthday. We were in Vegas for, what was it, Bill? It was like
the beauty pageant that I was judging.
Bill was judging a beauty pageant, and one of the prizes were you get to be in one of my films. So I was there, and I was winning on a slot machine, and Coolio walks by, and somebody's like, James. I'm like, go away, I'm winning. And then I see him. I push an old lady out of the way, and I'm like, Coolio, be in my new movie. And he's like, okay, but first I have to finish League Bowling. So then we walked upstairs in this casino to watch Coolio for 45 minutes, League Bowling. And then he's like, all right, I'm ready. And then as we proceeded to walk through the casino, women just threw themselves at him. And one girl turned to me, and she was like, my boyfriend's in the car, but it's Coolio.
It's Coolio.
And so he came upstairs. He started directing the movie. He was like, what's the name of this movie? It Wants Blood 2? All right, take 1. He's doing hand sticks. And I'm like, oh, okay. And Coolio's like, and action. I'm all, oh, you're direct? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Co-directed by Coolio.
That would be a good credit to put on the movie, honestly.
And then he just started making up this like amazing backstory. He's like, kaiju blood makes you live for 700 years. I'm all, I don't know what's happening, but this is great. Keep rolling.
Yeah. He's
That's
super
wild.
smart. I'm like, oh my God, he's like super smart. And he knew where he wanted the camera. He knew exactly what he wanted to say. He was telling me what to say. I'm like, oh my gosh, This is so cool. Being
Literally
directed by
directing.
Coolio.
That's
I know,
amazing.
Coolio was directing his own scene.
So I love Coolio. I always have, and one thing that he was always, I felt like really adamant about, is that nobody would recognize him without the hair, and I don't believe that. And I recognized him immediately. So was that like, did you guys have a conversation about that at all?
No. No, Coolio had the piggies. He had him in the movie.
Well, he reveals them, like, and
Yeah,
that's
well,
what.
so he had like a visor on, and like, you know what I mean? And you could see him sticking out, but then he made sure to like take them off. So
To show him,
Yeah.
God, man, what a legend.
I think, and he
Oh.
wanted to stay. He kept staying. He wanted to do some other stuff. We're like, now what happens?
we couldn't get Coolio to leave. We were like, okay, we're done. He started pitching us a cartoon. This was the best part of it. We were like, we don't do animation. He's like, okay, so I have this idea for a cartoon. It's called Big Cat, Little Cat. And he gets into this other producer's face. He's like, what's your name? And the cat's all, meow, 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 honky. He just starts calling him a honky. It was amazing. It was amazing. We were all terrified and so excited. We're like, is Coolio going to murder us? I don't know, but this is great. Like,
It was the best birthday ever.
It was amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome.
So cool.
Have you ever had the opposite of that, where you've like, hey, do you want to be in this? And someone's like giving you a really hard time and be like, no way. And beyond just like saying, no, I'm not interested.
I'll tell you a funny one. Dee Wallace, from E.T. and The Howling. Yeah. We did a convention together and we were flying back to LA on the same plane. And she was a few rows up from me. And so I walk up the aisle and she's on the aisle seat. And I go, Dee, we've known each other a long time. I'd love to get you to do a cameo in this new movie that I'm doing. And she takes the back of her hand and she caresses my face and goes, no. No. Well, okay.
Well, at least it was nice, yeah.
That is
pretty
nice. Pretty sweet letdown.
You should tell him about the Ric Flair. Because I love Ric Flair.
God, the Ric Flair story there. That's a good one.
You never get Ric Flair. You tell him.
I actually play with a Ric Flair doll because I need something to do with my hands.
I'm literally have that in your hand. That's
insane. I have it in my hand almost every show, actually. Underneath the table,
so. Like, what's Neil holding? It's a Ric Flair. Tell him the Ric Flair story.
It's a weird tick I have. I have to be using some with my hands, and it's usually played with a Ric Flair doll. So.
Oh, good. At least you're not cranking it in the village.
Well, that's in the other hand.
So I'm doing this convention with Ric Flair, and I know Ric Flair's manager. And so I go, hey, you think I could talk to him about doing a cameo? He's like, yeah, sometimes he does it. So, yeah, go right ahead. So I walk up to Rick. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'd love to get you to do a cameo. I've worked with a bunch of wrestlers like Jake the Snake Roberts, and he snapped like a spoon. He goes, Jake the Snake woo! He turned full Ric Flair on me. Like, it was not a work. He was just like, I hate Jake the Snake. Don't ever. And he was like all in my face. Like, just imagine a heated every Ric Flair promo, but in real life. You're like, what's happening? Why am I getting attacked by Ric Flair? All I said was Jake the Snake. He was like, do you know what that man did to our business? Woo! Like, he couldn't even contain his woos. He couldn't finish a sentence without wooing at me. I was like, I'm sorry. I just wanted to let you know that I had worked with other wrestlers. I never would have said the one that you hate the most. So anyway, I'm doing a movie with Jake the Snake Roberts called Snake Church.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Have you ever brought up Ric Flair to Jake the Snake?
I have not. I'm not that big.
Yeah,
he's a very tall man. He's very tall and old school. Will beat me to death. And I've worked with Jake twice. I really love Jake, so it's not worth the headlock or the DDT for that matter.
Exactly.
The man invented DDT. I'm not going to take that.
Yeah,
not from the man that made it up.
Yeah, the old school wrestlers, they're all way bigger, I think, than you think they're big anyway, but like you meet them in person, they're all like really big guys. Because Jake the
Yeah,
Snake wasn't like a huge wrestler in his day, compared to Hogan and stuff. But you
right.
meet him in person, and he's like a very big man.
He's giant. He's
Yeah.
like I come up to like nipple height on Jake. There's still more man up there.
Because Piper's actually really small for that era, and he was like a decent sized guy when you meet him.
Yeah. No, those guys
Yeah.
are giants.
And we had the Powers of Pain, and those guys were like,
nice.
"Oh my
Warlord
god!"
and Barbarian.
Yeah, they were massively buffed.
Yeah, Warlord's still huge, I believe. Yeah,
Huge.
Huge.
Who's
So
your favorite wrestler, Bill, growing up?
I've had so many. The funny story was, with this, I had a dream. I said, "Wouldn't it be cool if we did a scene with Rikishi?" And then James goes, "Oh my
Really?
god, we got Rikishi!" But that's kind of
That's
how
really
it
wild.
worked. And then I'm like,
yes. So
wouldn't it
he
be
had
cool-
suggested it, but he was already booked. Like I was saving it as a surprise. He was like, "Oh, it'd be really cool if we got Rikishi." I was like, "You're not going to believe this. He's filming with him on Tuesday. It's done."
And I think the first time we had my first wrestler with James, it was a female wrestler for It Wants Blood 1. And he goes, "Guess who we got for It Wants Blood 1?" And I went down through the whole roster of female wrestlers till the last one. And I don't know how did it come up, James, on the last one. I named every single women's wrestler.
Yeah, I think I was just like, "It's Lita. It's Lita. We got Lita." It's Lita.
And Lita's super cool. So.
Yeah, and it was
Very
her
nice.
first feature film, which was really cool. Also.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she was really good in It Wants Blood. You could tell she was having a good time.
Yeah,
And she had the script too, right?
yeah, she had dialogue. She came prepared.
Don Luscious is a good name for Coolio. Did you come
Yeah,
up with the name? Or
yeah, Don Lucius. Yeah.
I also really like the line "living in a kaiju paradise." It's pretty
Oh, I had to
Yeah.
have him say that. I was like, So
You
And
gotta
I have to
just,
mention, go on.
miles of cool stories from your behind the scenes. Like it's actually insane. You got to write a book, James.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah, my my lawyer said maybe not. There's so many names. There's so many crazy stories. You know what I mean? They were like, maybe wait a little while.
Yeah, wait till you're going to retire, and yeah.
Yeah,
All right, fair enough.
yeah. 20 years of playing shenanigans. I got a few.
You're looking great, by the way, James. You got in amazing shape.
Thanks, bud.
I'm not hitting on you. I'm just putting it out there.
Oh, damn it.
Well, I'll hit you up next time I'm out in LA or something. But,
Thanks.
yeah. And
You
you have
guys
Man
are
on
all-
Fire in the movie, which I am a big fan of. Anytime someone's on fire, I'm a big fan of this.
Lance
goes
Carver.
back-
Lance Carver did 3 full body burns for us that day. He
Damn.
lit them ablaze. I even took a selfie while he was on fire. That's how he
Yeah.
did.
I really
I was like, oh, he's back there. Like,
And he wanted to do some more.
he did. Yeah, Lance is great. We've been talking about doing another one.
Oh,
I love
sweet.
lighting Lance on fire.
And can you say anything about this band that you've been performing with?
Yeah, so I'm in a band with the director of Friday the 13th, Part 6, Tommy McLaughlin. We just played North Carolina last weekend, Mad Monster Party. And, yeah.
Sweet.
Play
Yeah,
bass.
Tommy's going to be on the show soon, so I'm excited about that.
Oh, okay, nice.
How did that come about?
My friend Kellen Pembleton
Yeah, I know
was
him.
like, hey, I'm playing with Tommy. And I had Tommy do a cameo in my movie Slice 2. It's a golf movie, Children of the Course. Of course I would name it that. It's a whole of you. And so Tommy was in that, so I knew Tommy. And we went over, we jammed one day, and it worked. And then we played Midsummer Scream, which is LA's biggest horror convention. And then we did a movie premiere for Todd Sheets. And then we just played last
sweet.
weekend.
I'm a Todd fan. He's a cool guy, and he's a guy who's been around for decades. Like, it's
Yeah.
interesting, like all the different, like shot on video stuff, until DVD, Blu-ray, and now streaming, like, and still, making stuff.
Yeah, that's what I love about Todd. He's a guy that rolls with the punches. You know what I mean? He had some AI shots in his latest
really?
werewolf movie, where Wolf Moon Rising. Excuse me, having an aneurysm. And then I talked to him about that too. That's cool.
Yeah, they sent me just recently like an old Todd Sheets shot on video movie. I think it's this one here. Because it's pretty cool. They've been re-releasing like these old SOV movies, like
it's with Rudy Ray Moore, right?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah,
I've seen that. I love Todd. I love Todd. I love Todd's movies. I know Todd for like a decade from doing conventions in Kansas City. So,
all right, Bill, do you ever get
all this
sick of
stuff in your brain? You got a very incredible brain, James.
Sick of what?
It's a scary place.
I said, do you ever get sick of James puns?
Oh no, I have to live with it every day, right? And it's funny when it starts rubbing off of me and I'm doing it. I'm like, oh no, I've been hanging around James too long.
Yeah, right.
And it's cool that you, James, you started working with friends of all of us here, Michael and Sophia, on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I love Mike and Sophia. We did a few movies together. We just finished Robot Dracula together. And we were talking about doing like a sci-fi New York, LA kind of, vengeance movie. So that'll be fun too.
Yeah. And what is that?
I want to do it in one shot. That's my game plan. It's called Samurai Streets. It's all in real time. So we're still trying to figure out the blocking of like how to get like the fight choreographed in
I feel like that's a battle between you and Michael, like the idea of like you want to film a movie in like a day, and Michael probably doesn't want to film a movie.
No, Mike's on board. That was the coolest part. Like I pitched it, and then Mike was like, "Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it." Like and he started coming up with ideas, and Mike's gonna play the bad guy, and you know what I mean. So,
all right. Maybe he's just sick of the puns too. He's like, I only have to listen to him for one day.
And then me and Bill are gonna have samurai swords back to back, cutting our way through.
I'm excited for that. Yeah,
this is news to Bill. He's all, "What?
What?
He's down.
Bill's in. That's what I love about Bill. He's all, "Yeah, okay, I'll do that."
If there's a sandwich involved, I'm in.
Yeah, that's what I love about.
That's what you need the samurai sword for. You cut it in half.
Yeah, it's a big hoagie.
So where can people follow you guys to see what you're up to?
Tell them, Bill.
So for me, you can find me on IMDb, Bill Victor Arucan, or Facebook. I think I'm also on Instagram. There's just too many things to follow.
Yeah.
You just Google my name and it pops up.
James.
Go to Instagram, find me at James Balsamo or at Acid Bath Productions or at Die Star Pictures, or follow my band, Bringer of Doom, at Bringer of Doom. Find me on Facebook, James Balsamo. I want to be your friend. Go to my website, jamesbalsamo.com. I got cool stuff. Go type it in on Amazon. I've got over 750 film products. 754 today, actually. I had 10 movies come out today. So what are you waiting for? Go get all of them.
Any new toys or cool merch coming out in the near future?
Oh man, I'm like, let me see. Do I have a toy around here? Well, there is this that's been out for a minute. It's the Mad Ball.
I love these. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Check that guy out.
Yeah, you always have the stuff that like I loved as I was gonna say kid, but yeah, I guess a kid. Mad Ball. Then you had like the wrestling buddy guys and
the Ball Slamos. Let's see, maybe that yellow. Yeah, yellow, right there. This guy. Yeah. This is from the movie Bill and I did, Alien Danger 2. This is me where I played the Nacho.
Oh my God, I love it,
dude.
Yeah. And then we got the late Lanny Poffo, which was the Macho Man's real brother, to introduce the Nacho Man in the movie. So
that's really cool.
I'm wrestling myself.
Every day.
Yeah,
every day.
Just like me under the table here.
That's right.
All right.
And then Bill
Bill
has some toys too. Wait, but there's one more. There's more. There's more here. So we made these alien danger toys. These are both Bill. Where's my camera here? So we've got good Bill and evil Bill. So Raven Van Slender and the evil Emil. Ah, I'm gonna get you, Bill. You gotta do the voices.
Those are pretty sweet. Voice. Very Star Wars-esque.
Yeah. So
nice. Very cool.
If you can't play with yourself, play with my toys.
Dude, legend.
Words to live by. Well, it's good to meet you, Bill.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and it's always nice to see you, James. And you're both welcome back anytime.
Hey, James.
And I'm not just saying that because you're here. Like you are. You're welcome back.
I appreciate that. Send me your address, bud. I'll send you a T-shirt.
Absolutely. Kaiju's got to eat.
That's right. You said it.
I'm gonna get some more. I'm gonna get some cooler pictures and post them all over.
Cool. Yeah, do a little fashion shoot in the snow.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got like 2 feet now, so
no.
It's not a good time.
You finally got the big wiener.
Yeah.
It did work.
It did work.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Bye,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Whoa. All right. We're very large.
Catch him. Put him in your pocket. God, I'm so sad that Bill couldn't hear me. I wonder,
Yeah, that's too bad. That's happened a couple times on some streams I've been on where I don't know the issue, but like you would think you either could hear everybody or you can't. Like you can't hear
everybody or nobody. Yeah. I was just like, I just loved. He's like so lovable, and then he's just like, like, and I'm like, I want to talk to this guy some more. I want to talk to him more, but. They're obviously going to put out much more films, so we'll definitely. And it sounds like they're kind of partnered up now.
James has 10 out just today, so
yeah.
By next week, there's going to be like 12 more out.
He literally makes me feel like such a bum. I don't understand just the amount of. It's really like inspirational. The amount of projects that he can juggle at once, and then doing these conventions and helping other people with stuff. And I mean, he kind of helped me behind the scenes a little bit on Our Man Funk and pre-production. Nice. And so, I mean, he's just like, some people won't even respond, like he's literally all over the place and remembers all of these things. It's really cool.
Yeah, James is a good guy, and I'm happy that him and Michael and Sophia are working together because Michael's always same way, very helpful person, and so Sophia too. I didn't want to leave her out of that.
And I mean that Robot Dracula rap video.
Yeah.
That's a slapper.
It is. That's pretty amazing. That is really amazing.
I will say, like, our main job, in this whole thing is to entertain, and that dude is a freaking entertainer. Like James Balsamo,
he's also a promoter too. He's really a great self promoter.
Yeah, he's incredible. What a show!
I don't know if you know this. He early on worked with Trauma, and I do think he's got some of that Lloyd in him. Yeah,
like ringleader kind of vibes, big top hat, long coat. Yeah, I'd follow him into hell.
All right, so I'm gonna play. We've got the trailer here from Jimmy. And Jimmy, I talked to him earlier today.
This is from Jimmy Scanlon?
Yeah. We All Have Demons. And his short film. He will be on the show soon to talk about this. Give me 1 second. I should, if I was professional, I would have had it all set up. But here we go.
Well, as soon as we get that intern.
local resident from the neighborhood says they heard a scream. Then silence.
Some of her friends are speaking out, stating they haven't seen her for days.
Damn, that looks awesome.
Oh.
I don't know if you noticed, but when they first go in with like the box cutter on her hand, that legit made me jump. I actually jumped.
Dude, that was a huge jump scare on that. Like that's a good trailer. Jimmy really cut a good trailer there.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Which, connection there. Jimmy Scanlon, cinematographer of Our Man Funk. It's his own film. We All Have Demons, which is pretty scary. He did a really good job with that film, so I'm excited to see what that does.
Yeah, you're sweet. All right, very cool. Thank you for sending that too, and I look forward to having Jimmy on. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk about some Our Man Funk behind the scenes stuff. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be a real good time.
So next month we're going to be doing a serial killer episode.
Perfect for me.
Yeah, you don't need to dress up or anything.
Don't need to do nothing.
So I've been trying to get a couple of guests on too. Like we'll have like people on the actual show, but I thought it'd be cool if we had some guests from some serial killer movies like during the month. And one of them's like, I don't think they'll do it, but I did get a reply. So we'll see if it happens. But it's probably a guest that's probably not going to come on the show. I don't think, but we'll try. The worst they can say is no.
Little tease.
Yeah. Can you see me okay? Because there is. I was frozen on my. I don't think my connection is the greatest because if people don't know, I was in a blizzard all week. It's been not great weather here.
Ooh, spooky weather?
No, cold, shitty weather.
Oh, that's kind of scary, right?
Yeah, well, it was scary when I had no power, and so so my the power company, electric company, they contacted me and they said it'll be out for 3 to 5 days. I was like, good Lord, that sucks.
Insane.
And it came back on a day and a half, which made me very happy. But I do have a little conspiracy theory here. They tell you it'll be out for 3 to 5 days. And then it comes on in a day and a half because that makes you so happy that you forget that it was out at all. So you don't bitch about it being out. You're like, thank you for getting it on early. Yeah. That's actually really smart.
This is exactly how I date. I lower the bar. So then when I show up with a candy bar, I'm like, whoa.
Right. Yeah, I'll let you supersize it tonight. You get the large fry. Although I will say some of the fast food is like as expensive as going to a regular restaurant now. But
that happened. I didn't even notice it. That happened, and I realized it the other day. But speaking of scary, fast food prices are spooky.
Yeah. It like went out with my brother. Like we just stopped. I don't know, was it Wendy's or something? We both just got a meal. Nothing like that was it. Just we each got some kind of, and it was $35. And I was like, what the hell? We might as well go like you could go to like an actual place and have like a sit down meal for this.
I will say what I do like about that is I'm eating a lot more mom and pop shops now.
Yeah, because it's like foolish,
foolish. So support your local mom and pop shops. That's what I always say. Cut the chains out.
Yeah. And shout out actually to our one in our town, Brooklyn Heights Eatery, because they're going to let us film some of Arbor Day there.
Oh, cool. Also excited
They have an
about that.
Arbor Day flyer up, which I'm going to make some new ones. I'm going to make some new Arbor Day flyers with the new cast and crew on there. AJ and Tara. I think Tara might be in the old one, but AJ and Tara will be on the new one.
Let's go. I'm
Do
going to
it
need a
up.
shirt of that too. I'm going to need a whole bunch of new shirts. I'm wearing out my R-Man Funk shirt.
Yeah, I wore mine all the time when I got back. I should have wore it tonight, but I did also want to wear the. This is really cool for people who don't. If you grew up in the '80s, TriStar Pictures was put out a lot of cool horror movies and like cult movies, and so I like the play on that Die Star Pictures.
Yeah, James has some really cool merch. I'm not gonna lie. I felt naked with everybody wearing his merch, and I'm like, I need one of these.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my ears itchy. And it's fun seeing all the wrestlers. And I do have a Ric Flair story myself. So it was at Texas Frightmare. And so Ric Flair was one of the guests. And I never saw him at his table once the entire time. He was always at the bar. And so it was me and a friend of the show tried to introduce me to Rick. And he was not interested in the least. But then when she introduced him to Annabelle, with Annabelle, he just started like groping her, and he was like a real.
Good Lord.
And then the woman's like, "Oh, Neil hosts a wrestling podcast," and he went, "Bye." And just turned his head to us.
I mean, I feel like I'll never get another chance to bring this up, but we've talked about Zach Amico and Ric Flair on this episode, and if you haven't seen it, Zach Amico was a guest on Kill Tony maybe a couple years ago. And they had Ric Flair on, and Zach. This is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen Zach Amico do, but he's Rick's super drunk, and Zach is just pushing his buttons on stage the whole show. And if you have not seen that episode, it is one of the most it was a very viral internet moment, and it's worth the hour and a half. I swear, watch the whole entire thing.
I think we may have I think I may have asked Zach Amico about that on the show. I can't remember for sure.
Oh, did he talk about that?
I think so.
I
know I brought it up to somebody on the show. It must have been him. I don't know who else I would have brought it up to. So.
I mean, talk about balls, dude. Just pushing his buttons the whole, and perfectly too, just perfectly timed. That was one of the things that made me. I was like, I really want this guy for Funk. This is too funny.
The Kill Tony episode was incredibly funny. Yeah. Anytime they try to mix wrestlers, whenever they try to do a roast or it always is this giant abysmal failure. Because it's cool. I'm a big wrestling guy, but the wrestlers really take like the you wouldn't think they would, but they really take like jokes very personal, especially if they're from like a non-wrestler, and it's always just it's not a good mix.
Well, you can say incredible failure or incredible success, depending on how you're looking at it. But that episode popped off. That was
yeah.
I mean, I think I've seen it like 3 times. It just tickles me so much to just watch how disconnected he is from what's going on, and everybody else is dialed in. I mean, I think even at one point he gets so mad, and off to the side of the stage, Zach gives a woo, and he said some really, dude, that show is pretty offensive, and they don't cut a lot out. They cut a lot out of what he said. To this day, I have no idea what he was saying, because the episode just skips all this. He starts talking, and then it just skips to someone else talking, and they've almost never done that.
Because they also tried to do a Ric Flair roast at some other event once. It was a big bomb. And then they did I know this wasn't a roast, this was the Kill Tony show, But I think it was the guy from Kill Tony, Tony, who was doing some kind of roast one weekend during was like the WrestleMania roast, because they normally would host like a lot of events during WrestleMania weekend, other like indie wrestling companies and stuff, and it never works out. It's always because the wrestlers get very offended by this stuff.
Well, and there's so many things happening at once. Like Tony is like like he's got the Ric Flair doll. He idolizes it. So he's trying to stop this from happening. He's he's really trying to, like, guys, and they're like, no, we're going. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Mark Norman's on that episode. I think Shane Gillis is on that episode. Luis J. Gomez is on that episode. So it's like the biggest panel they've ever had, and then they all turn on Rick. And man, you gotta watch it. You gotta see it.
Yeah. Woo! I never had Rick on the wrestling podcast. But
I could tell that one hurt.
Yeah, I think I remember when he first the first shoot interview he did. I think it was a lot. I think it was like $30,000 or something they had to pay him.
Really?
It was High Spots. I think High Spots. See, that's the thing. I don't know how like invested you are in this stuff, but before podcasts really took off, it was shoot interviews, because the wrestlers never really talked out of character. And so, like, in the 90s, they started doing what they called shoot interviews, and they would sell them on VHS tape. And they really took off in the early 2000s. But once podcasts really became a thing, it's like, who's going to really buy these tapes when, like, you can just hear people, doing, honestly, like on my show, and I started in 2005, and I'd have guests on every week, and it would be basically a live shoot interview. So, who's going to like buy a VHS tape at that point?
So the same thing. You like helped turn the knife
in
the death of shoot interviews.
Right.
You're part of history, man.
Yeah. And then it kind of came full circle in a way, because and then really, I don't want to say marks, but it's like some people like started to pay wrestlers to come on their podcast. Like it would be like some people that had like a lot of money, and they thought it'd be cool to say they've interviewed all these people. So, but once they started to do that, it really changed the wrestling podcast, where like now, unless I like know somebody, like they're not going to come on unless I pay them.
Yeah.
And so it's just, that's why I don't have many guests anymore in the wrestling show.
Well, now, knowing how big of a Ric Flair fan you are, what did you think of his portrayal in Iron Claw?
It's fucking awful. That was embarrassing. Like they could have just got like almost any wrestler who's a fan of Flair. Like anyone who grew up in the 80s does a better Ric Flair impression than the guy they hired in the movie.
I had to ask. I know you got an opinion on this.
I know they couldn't hire an African American guy, but have you ever seen oh my god, what's his name? He does an amazing Ric Flair impression. Jay Lethal.
Oh my gosh.
His Flair impression is fantastic. He also does a great Macho Man. He used to call himself Black Machismo and did this Macho Man impression. I'll probably get flagged if I try to show any of it. But you have to, guys, look it up. Jay Lethal in TNA wrestling, doing his Ric Flair stuff. It's amazing. He actually did it with Ric Flair. Like it was back and forth, him doing his impression of Ric Flair against Ric Flair, the real Ric Flair.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But he would have been better. Now I get it would be odd. There's like suddenly Ric Flair is a black guy in the movie, but his impression of Ric Flair is way better than the guy that they cast.
That's a hot take there. Imagine that would be awesome, just to have a black guy playing for real in like a very serious biopic.
Yeah.
I would die.
A lot of the guys I think they cast the family pretty well. I think all the actors were really good. I do think just for me personally, they should have switched Carrie and Kevin just because the guy who played Kevin is like super jacked and Kevin Von Erich wasn't, but Carrie was. So that was a little odd to me, but it probably doesn't matter if you don't know it, if you don't know them too well. But some of the older guys they cast were not particularly good. Like Harley Race wasn't great. He talked well, but they had like a really old man playing him when he would have been like 30 or something at the time. So it was kind of weird, but the Flair one was very, very poor, very bad.
I'm so glad I remembered that.
That was the worst. That was definitely the worst casting of the movie. That was the only bad part of the Smashing Machine, which is the MMA. I forget the guy's name. Is it Kerr? And the guy that they cast though to play the Paul Varlins looked nothing like him. But it was just a small character. But
yeah, quick blip. They're like, let's not waste time on this.
Yeah.
No.
It was also really weird because one of my favorite modern wrestlers, MJF, he took a lot of time off of AEW to do Iron Claw because he was playing Lance Von Erich, and he's literally in the movie for like 2 or 3 seconds, and they never even reference him. You just see him like in the ring. And I was like, man, he took off like months of wrestling to do this. So I assume it was a much bigger part, which that was really disappointing too, because Lance Von Erich. So once the brothers start dying off, Fritz Von Erich brings in a fake brother, Lance Von Erich. Like he calls him like one of the cousins, but he's not even related to the family. So it's a pretty shitty thing to do to your own family, like bring in a fake relative. And so they cast that guy, they have it in the movie, but unless you know who he's supposed to be, you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
It's odd, but I really do think that movie, it should have been like a series because there's so many characters that they just show and don't really get into any detail about. You could have done like an HBO series or something. I think would have been pretty sweet.
I will say when I saw it in theaters, and there was only men in there, by the way, and there was about 20 of us. And whenever it ended, I looked around, and every single dude in that movie was crying. I've never experienced that in my life. But I never saw like Saving Private Ryan in theaters or anything like that. And so I'm like, is this normal? Like, what is going on? But I mean, and you can really see it because the screen is illuminating the tears on everybody's faces, just all wet faces, the whole entire. I was just like, whoa, it's kind of a trip.
Because, there's a really interesting story there outside of even the Von Erichs, because World Class, it was one of the first wrestling companies that really pushed all young guys, which really revolutionized wrestling. They also the first one to really use music, which they touch on a little bit. One of the brothers wanting to put more music on the show and stuff. But what that did was they're pushing all these super young guys, like in their early 20s. And so they got tons of money, so they can buy like all kinds of drugs, and they're like, rock stars. So they get all women. And so many, not just the brothers, but so many of the people in World Class died very young because of that.
Yeah.
So it's a really tragic, not even just the family, but like that whole territory. Like a handsome half-breed Gino Hernandez died really young. A lot of people there died really young, or even just messed their lives up.
Yeah, it's brutal what people do to chase their dreams sometimes, man. Especially when there's like no. That's why everything's so heavily regulated now. It's pretty much because of what was happening like pre 89 in a bunch of different industries. Like we talk about even the corpses, the real corpses being used in movies.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, you can't get away with any of that stuff ever again.
Yeah, because steroids were just legal for a long time. Like, I don't know.
They still are. They just changed.
You can get if you can.
Yeah, they just changed names of it too. Like there's a really weird thing going on right now with these streamers that are all on like trend and stuff. And have you ever seen this guy Sam Sulek?
No.
I don't know how old he is now, but when he got popular online, he was like 22 or something, and he is dude, just muscles coming out of every square inch of his body. He looks 40, and it's bizarre. I mean, I just couldn't imagine morphing myself like that, but also I don't know, there's probably a lot that goes into that sort of mentality.
Yeah, I mean, look at The Rock's lost some weight now, but like in his 50s, he got just insanely massive. Like,
yeah, well, that was just from eating 10 chickens a day.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
then on his cheat days, he eats like 12 pizzas.
Yeah, that's all. If you eat 10 chickens a day, dude, you will be insanely jacked, right?
Yeah, I gotta start getting more rotisserie chickens.
Yeah, more chicken.
Yeah, he looked insane in that Smashing Machine movie. But then whenever he comes back to wrestling, he like literally tears like every like muscle in his body because the steroids lends your muscles to tears, like they tear more easily. Which muscle tears really weren't like hardly a thing at all until steroids came around.
It's like these really high octane like race cars. It's like, oh man, these cars go so fast, but then they're good for like one race, and then it takes a full team of like 20 people to disassemble the whole front end and put it back together for it to be able to drive again.
By the way, not only this, it's not even just it's Ric Flair. If these action figures would have been out when I was a kid, they're made like old He-Man guys, but they're wrestlers. So I'm like, these are the greatest wrestling figures ever made. When I was a kid, the wrestling figures were either the big rubber guys that had no movement at all. They were just in one position, and you couldn't really play with them. Or they were or the Hasbro guys that had like a goofy movement. So I actually used G.I. Joes because they had the best points of articulation where you could actually like make them do moves and stuff.
Didn't G.I. Joes even have the
old ones from the 70s had the kung fu grip, the tall ones?
Yeah.
So they were like 6.5 inches, I think, or 5.5 inches when I was a kid. But I think like so a lot of people were probably my age who make these toys now, so they make them like, oh, I wish I had toys like this when I was a kid, because I don't think kids actually buy any of these toys anymore. They just make them for adult
collectors. You guys just gobble them up. You guys are like,
I can't buy them anymore because it's like they cost like $35 a piece, and it's like, I don't want to like go broke by buying wrestling figures.
Well, there's such a gap in our like wrestling watching as a kid. And so when you were like going around earlier, oh yeah, who's your favorite wrestler? I'm like, oh God, please don't get to me. Please don't get to me. Because it was a totally different era when I was a kid.
So who were the people that you were watching? My favorite my favorite wrestler when I was growing up was Piper.
It was the Hardy twins.
Okay.
The Dudley brothers. I loved them. And when they do the 3D.
Bubba! Yvonne, get the table.
Booker T was kind of on his way out.
5 time.
Down to there. It just got so ridiculous. I'm like, this is amazing. And it was so cartoonish. Especially after all the Generation X guys kind of like disbanded. But that was when I was a kid, that was the big thing. Everyone had the like the NWO like pillow dolls, and we were fighting those guys and going off the top rope on them and my buddy's playroom. And so I'm like, oh God, guys, please don't ask me who's, because I'm just going to say Chris Benoit, which most people would think, oh yeah, you're being funny. And it's like, I had the video games. I literally had like the WCW video game. And who do you think I'm playing with every single time? Chris Benoit, dude. So I was just like, the Crippler. See, dude, he was awesome. And then of course, what happened. You know the rest. But
Yeah, I think that was either the first of the set. Well, I don't know what year. I know it was. We were hosting the show when he killed everybody. When he killed his family. I remember coming on the show like it was weird.
yeah,
That almost like killed wrestling, honestly, at the time. 2000
Yeah.
also was a little. We were doing the show for a couple of years, I guess.
yeah, that was nuts.
Mhm.
That was very insane. But yeah, like Sting, you
I'm a
know,
big
and Sting
Sting
was
fan.
dressed up like the Crow.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Uh,
noticed, he just retired a couple of years, like last year or the year before. Maybe it was either last year or the year before, and he was like 60 and he's still wrestling.
That's
And
nuts.
he was friggin' awesome. His last run in AEW was awesome.
That is nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Even
I
his
always
retirement was
loved
awesome.
Mankind. Like
Well,
that
that was
was
yeah. So my favorite wrestler when I was a kid was Roddy Piper, and then from the '90s on, it was Mick Foley. Yeah,
yeah.
Cactus Jack. Yeah.
Also just the most likable. I mean, you could tell like I don't know. There was a lot of crossover between like himself and the
Yeah.
character, and I'm like, this is a good guy. I like this guy. You know, what was his name? Sacco.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, dude, just that as a kid, I'm like, that's disgusting. I love it. Just jamming that in somebody's mouth, and I'm like, what is going
Pull
on?
it out of his tights. And...
It's amazing.
I was a fan. Actually, you might not even know this. He wrestled in the Dying Days of World Class. That's where I first saw him in the Von Erichs wrestling. So I don't think maybe Kevin was around, but it was the Dying Days of just the last couple of years, and like some of the guys that came out of there was Steve Austin, who became Stone Cold, and Cactus Jack.
Yeah, the Stone Cold era so I had an uncle with Down syndrome, okay? And when I was about 7 and he was like 40 and he lived with my great grandma, and he only wore this one Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt every single day. I assume he wore it every day because it's the only thing I ever saw him in. It was that or a Garth Brooks shirt. Like he might have only had 2 shirts, but dude, this guy would beat my ass every time I would go over there, and I'd have to wrestle him, and wrestling would be on. And so he was like I had like a real Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like I was like terrified of him, and then I was terrified of the actual character because I would just think of my uncle Donnie, and I'm like, oh man, Donnie's gonna put me down as soon as I go back over there. But that's who like really got me into wrestling, and I would watch it with him all the time.
Yeah, you probably didn't see it in World Class, and then WCW before he comes Stone Cold. He was Stunning Steve, and he had long blonde hair.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was balding though, so it's kind of weird. But
also really good guy. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Stone Cold fan. Yeah.
Did you ever see him get punked on MTV?
No.
So he gets punked, and they do this thing where like I don't know, something like the valet messes up his car or gives somebody his car or something, and then they have like a manager come out, and the manager is just from what I remember, he's like berating the valet guy like disgustingly, like you just totally degrading him, and Stone Cold just gets right in the middle of him, and he's like, that's enough, dude. Like you're done. And I mean, he goes straight from being a regular guy to like he puts on the persona and just gets like nose to nose with the guy, and everyone starts freaking out on production because they're like, wait, is he? And they're like, stay in the pocket, he's not gonna hurt you. And the guy's like, no, he is gonna hurt me. Like we got to end this. And it even took him a second to be like, oh, this is a prank, like he thought he had to defend somebody that was like being punched down on, and not like an important person, like a worker. And I just remember being like, this is a good dude. Like this is actually a good dude, which is always cool to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's kind of rare in wrestling, to be honest. So yeah.
especially the character that he played.
Yeah, because you think him just like this asshole is beating everybody up.
Yep, in the country, so you think, oh, he's like this crazy redneck.
Yeah.
He's probably
He is a redneck though, but
but
you think, like,
he just is not like what you think. So that was always a really pleasant surprise for me. Even getting older, I'm like, damn, I really respect Stone Cold Steve Austin a lot.
Yeah, big Stone Cold fan. I was trying to think. I was trying to think who else came out of the Dying Days of World Class. Paul Bearer was actually a manager there. He's Percy Pringle III.
Crazy.
He also had blonde hair when he's in World Class.
I don't know how we just freaking morphed this into the wrestling show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but Paul Bearer is one of the first guests I had on the wrestling show. He was actually the first guy who agreed to come on when I started asking guests to come on. He wasn't the first guest, but he's the first guy who agreed. And so we had, I don't know, he's like the 5th or 6th guest maybe, but.
Well, I know James told me to send him my address, but dude, I like to support these films, man. I'm probably just gonna order stuff.
All right, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's I think you ever see anything that some filmmakers that you like or enjoy are making, just order some of it, Yeah,
because people aren't making a fortune for the most part off this stuff, so it does help. It helps people make more stuff.
And I know, like, they didn't get to talk about it much. We always jump into the weeds on like production of Our Man Funk, which I'm just like, whatever. But they have that Bill and Frank created that comic for nursing home
I had
Dracula.
that in my notes. We should get him back on.
Yeah,
and talk about. Yeah, I'm actually gonna message him and just tell him sorry we didn't do more there.
But they put out like an exclusive one for that convention that has, a badge for the convention, and there was just a limited run of them. And it's funny. I was thinking like, oh man, I bet I could get one of these. Like these guys, like I was gonna ask, like, yeah, just send me one. And I'm like thinking like, no, I'm just where can we buy them? I'm just gonna buy a couple of these comics because the artwork is actually really cool, and Mark Torgle's in it and Bill's in it, and so I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna cop some of those nursing home Dracula comics. I also do like the resurgence of comics. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I know we. Hopefully something comes of our ideas. I think it will.
But no, I think more movies, especially these indie movies, should put out stuff alongside of their movie. I think the days of like posting and ghosting are done. Mm-hmm. And it's like, make your movie an experience, make it a full thing that people can buy into.
And you could also extend the story or expand it, through the comic book. There's lots of things you could do with it. Or, even like you could flesh out some other smaller characters that maybe you didn't have time for. They're in the movie, but you can give them more time than in the comic book.
Yeah. Which also leaves the door open for maybe another movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's I think it's a great thing that the horror community is doing. So I'm like, yeah, I'm on board with this. Let's do these. More people, anybody listening, make more comics. I know the Monster Fam Discord, they're all about it. So they've got like comics and cartoons in the works in there, which I was not blowing smoke. I've been a part of a lot of Discords, and it's a lot of them are like a circle jerk of people just wasting time after work, and so it is pretty inspiring how active and creative they are in that one. I mean, you go in and it's almost like every channel has notifications on it every single day.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
People create more stuff. We need more stuff.
I have a bunch of trailers, but I think we might save them for next time when everyone's on.
If you can we play I've that We All Have Demons one more time? I do love that trailer.
Yeah, let's do that. There's some interviews coming up on the show soon. Interview for I record this early today. I don't know, maybe tomorrow I'll have it up. What was it called? Vampire Zombies from Space.
Cool.
All right, so I watched, I see the poster and stuff, and I think this is probably gonna be something I like. not only do I like it, I loved it. It's black and white. It's made like the old Ed Wood movies. It's kind of like a combination of that, and like Night of the Living Dead, but it's got camp in it, but it's also like the effects are really well made, and like everyone's performance is great in it. Like they're like playing it really serious, but it's like, you know, like it's about Dracula and he's got a spaceship and he's like trying to take over the world with zombies.
Where
and
is this?
It's the Blu. It's on Amazon, I think. The Blu-ray just came out. It's so good. I loved it. So I really want people to check it out. It's awesome. And Dracula has he talks to three other. It's like he talks like Nosferatu, Vampira, and it's like the bouffant Dracula from like the 90s one. And like he talks to them like they're holograms on his spaceship, and I mean it's like completely insane. And it's like in the 50s, so there's like a greaser guy that's fighting Dracula, like him and a sheriff, and it's insane, but it's like really well made. It's great. I really liked it a lot. So
it's going on my list.
Yeah,
I'm into that.
Yeah, I knew I would like it, but it was even better than I thought it would be. You know,
it's amazing.
It made me really happy. This is a little bit, not really spoiler, but it's early on in the movie. So there's a guy doing an autopsy on a body, and so he's looking in like his medical books, and like in his medical book, it's like mummyism, vampirism, zombieism, and this is just like this guy like in the hospital, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna like this movie. And then when I asked him about it, he was like, yes, just one of the guys that like wrote it, like actually drew out the medical book.
It's the details. Yes.
Right, here we go. Jimmy will be on soon. Maybe next week. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
A local resident from the neighborhood says they heard a scream, then silence.
Like that me again.
Some of her friends are speaking out, stating they haven't seen her for days.
So creepy, dude. It's so creepy.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll have you seen the short yet?
So we'll definitely talk about it more, but yeah, I've seen the short, and it holds up. It's a good short.
Yeah, he sent it to me before the show, but I didn't have time to watch it, so I'm really looking forward to checking it out.
It's really like when you see it, you'll really understand, and also the other things that Jimmy's made of how good of a get he was for our man Funk. It was really, honestly incredible that he came on board. So that dude, he's the man. Jimmy Scanlon.
Thumbnailing comic as a script. Oh, sweet.
See, there we go. More comics.
Tara had I don't know if she's fine, totally fine, but she had something personal going on, so she couldn't be here. And Troy just got his power back today. He was out of power for 4 days, so he's pretty burnt out. So, but both of them are good, and they'll be back next week. I believe Kelsey and maybe Morgan will both be on the serial killer show, so that'd be pretty sweet.
Oh, great. I'm gonna go play Dead by Daylight with Kelsey this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, should be.
I was on a Dabbleverse stream the other night, and they started playing. I don't know, some game where you shoot each other. I'm like a boomer saying that. I don't know, but And they were trying to get me on. I was like, I don't know anything about this. Like, is it like anything like Excite Bike or something?
Excite Bike. That's gonna be our next goal, is like get you a little gaming laptop so we can get you on some of these horror games.
Oh, that was a thing too. I brought this up to you about, like, I used to get, like, it was funny because I brought up that we used to get, like, I used to get emails from, like, different video games, like, wanting to know if we would review them. And, like, I didn't really, I just don't play them. And after that, after I mentioned that to you, we got two people emailing about them. So I'm going to, the one they sent me the code, and I'll have to look them up. One of them was a horror game though, or maybe both of them. And it said like a playtime's like a half hour.
Oh, cool.
You could play through it, I guess.
Well, I don't know what they would be open to, but I would definitely be willing to play through these on stream, and I can too. Like I can stream it up, and so it's the horror games. I played one a long time ago called Fear, and I'd never played a horror game before, and it's a story mode campaign, first person. And I love horror movies, and so I'm like, yeah, this horror game is going to be cool. Dude, I almost shit my pants because there's a whole nother layer to it of immersion because you're controlling the thing. So when you have to, like, you go into an old haunted school, and then every time you take a step, all the lockers start opening and closing in the hallway, and you have to go down to the end of the hall. But it's not a camera carrying you to the end. You have to physically be like, okay, I'm going to walk down here. And it is terrifying. It adds a whole nother level of scary.
One of our producers here, Bubba. Bubba's a good man. Thank you for helping produce the show. Appreciate that. You can, if you do the $10, if you help support the channel, it costs only $3 a month. But if you do the $10 tier, like Bubba here, you do get IMDb credit, which is pretty cool. I think that's a nice thing.
Welcome to the family, Bubba.
Yeah,
good to see you.
It helps cover the costs here. But yeah, there's been two movies just recently. That one that did really well, made a lot of money at the theater, Iron Lung, and that was based off a video game. And Mortuary Assistant was also based off an indie video game. That I liked it a lot better. It was a lot smaller budget, but it's interesting that they were both based off like indie horror video games. I didn't realize like that was a thing. Like I've heard of the bigger ones, but there's a lot of like these independent ones, and I guess they have like this one that they were emailed about. I guess takes a half hour, but even the Mortuary Assistant, when I had the director on, he said like the game takes like an hour and a half or something to play through, which
that's
kind of cool.
Yeah, that's great. I would love to start, even an offshoot of the show.
You're going to be the video game guy for this.
Yeah, because I used to put some hours in just mindlessly while listening to podcasts in the background and stuff, but not so much anymore. But something that's really embarrassing about me is that when I get scared, actually scared, I scream so loud, dude. I scream, and it is not with this voice, this deep voice. It's not the scream that you would expect. Nobody expects it, and everybody makes fun of me for it. And these horror games, they get me a lot of times. So I've even been thinking about getting a little VR headset to get into some of the VR horror games because they're just so damn scary, dude.
Mr. Kill Everything, who I met through the Dabbleverse, but he streams him playing video games, and he used to when he played horror games, he had this I don't know what it is exactly, but he'd put it on screen and it would monitor his heart rate, and like it was really cool actually.
You know what? I can get one of those too. And that's a very easy thing to put up on screen with the with the software.
Yeah, he was on once. I don't know if you were here or not. He was. I know Tara was here. Tara will be on next week. She's got she had a personal thing going on. She's totally fine. She's good, but she couldn't be here tonight. But
that's what I'm gonna start calling Tara. Old girl.
Yeah.
Old girl. Hey, old girl. Old girl, where are you at? No, she doesn't live here.
But I don't want to be like, oh, he's being lame, whatever. But no, the current group here Without Your Head is the most fun I've ever had doing the show. So not even just the show, but we get together, we talk about ideas. It's a great time. Me, Tara, AJ, and Troy.
I love that he doubled down on old girl.
This guy started as like a troll of mine, Tyler, but now I think he likes the show.
That was good. That was good to double down on that. I'm like, yeah, you got me.
This is the fake belly button, and I just feel weird when I pick it up. Like, if you just see a glimpse of it, people are going to wonder what it is. But it's a fake belly button that someone sent me.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It is weird.
I should probably stick with the flare.
Someone sent me that. That's the important part.
Well, if I show that dog one again,
never again.
I can never gonna. I really want to get rid of that. I'm normally like, I don't care if someone's side of foot or something, but I don't want anyone ever being like, like coming in my house and like there's this dog with an insertable, like,
dude.
There's no way to really explain that.
Imagine you get hit by a bus and then it's like someone's got to go through your stuff and then they're just like, don't tell anybody what Neil was into. And it's like, even beyond the grave, it's so embarrassing. So really good gift to get that kind of reaction from me, because I was just like, man, I haven't been shocked in a long time. I thought everything.
That one was a surprise for sure. No one needs to one up it. No one needs to try to outdo it next time. But
we don't even need to describe it. If you want to see it, every part of it was shown on Neil's birthday episode. If you're curious about the dog toy, just go to Neil's birthday episode and it's on there. And I'll tell you the worst part, it comes with suction cups. And I that's all I'm gonna say. It's filthy. It's horrible. Good job, Jason.
Yeah. So I mean, like this shirt, I just find this funny. I don't really.
It's cute.
Yeah, I wouldn't like wear it around town, but I'd wear it on the show. I really wouldn't care. But the dog one we can't.
Too much. Too much.
Then there's this shirt that it's just too. This one's too graphic to show on air. So we don't need to show that. But.
It was slightly shown on the birthday episode. So you can see all the sick gifts. Honestly, a lot of really wholesome gifts, so you have to fast forward quite a bit if you don't like wholesome.
You know what? That reminds me, though. I do have that I missed last week.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe these are from Golgo13, who emailed me about these. So these, I opened the bag, but I don't know what's in it. I just know they're shirts. And stickers. This might be just from the company, like I don't know.
Yeah, a little add-in.
Yeah, might be more stickers in here actually. Whoa, it's pretty cool. Oh, it's like all over print.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool. What's that from? I was just saying it looks like liquid blue. It is. Liquid blue. You know what? I see this here. I was just say liquid blue. Your old wrestler Mikey Whipwreck used to always wear liquid blue shirts with the dragon on them, which is a wrestler from ECW. And this is the shirt that he used to wear. That's really wild. That's awesome. This is the shirt he used to wrestle in. This was like Mikey Whipwreck's shirt from the 90s.
See, another great gift. Like, what the heck?
That's great. Thank you, Golgo. I didn't know Liquid Blue even still existed. They used to make tie-dyes for like a lot of like the bands. They used to do like Grateful Dead tie-dyes.
That's so sick.
Sweet. Those are awesome. Thank you. And I could show those on here. Oh, I was just saying they used to make the Grateful Dead tie-dyes, and there's a Grateful Dead.
Dude.
I'm gonna give that to. I don't want to give my gifts away, but Troy's a big Grateful Dead fan, so I think I might give that to him. That one's cool too.
He deserves it. Guy's had a rough week.
Yeah. This one I'm gonna start doing some mushrooms.
Yeah. Dude.
No, I put stickers on this, and sometimes they fall off, so I got to replace them. So next time I need to replace one, I think I will put this one on.
Guys, more sweet gifts.
Yes,
Aw.
thank you very much. You got this is from Pancake Movie Festival. It used to be at the Brattle, and it was an annual thing, and it was only local filmmakers, and you had to make all the shorts had to incorporate pancakes, and then each year was a different theme. So like it would be horror, action, whatever, but you had to make a short that involved pancakes. It was the International Pancake Film Festival, and they also would have all you can eat pancakes. They'd be making them in the back, so you'd eat pancakes while you watched pancake shorts. And sadly, it stopped. They canceled it during the pandemic, and then they never brought it back, sadly.
I'm a sucker for a theme.
Yeah. Genre Blast sticker, a Lucy Tight Box sticker. She gave me that. So when she came out here to see the Crispin Glover movie with me in Boston, and I gave her my movie, and she gave me stickers of herself. So we both gave very egotistical gifts, I think.
That's how that goes. I mean, usually.
Yeah. I even joked, I was like, I got something for you, but it's kind of egotistical. And she's like, well, so is it mine. I was like, oh, okay.
Aw, it's a match.
Yeah, she was texting me earlier about, because I don't want to get into this because Crispin's been very nice to me, but yeah, Crispin's been accused of some pretty bad things. But I think he's suing, so because he says it's not true. So
worse than Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good stuff. And I feel really weird because I literally emailed them last night about setting up the third interview, and then I'm like, oh, this probably was not a good time. But,
probably a bad time.
Yeah.
Probably a bad time.
Yeah.
Man, hell
right,
of a
I'm going to
show.
tell you the guest I'm trying to get because it's probably not going to happen. I did get a reply. They're going to look into it if he'll do it. I don't expect it to happen, but I wrote out a big pitch for it, and that is for the serial killer month. I was like, let's get Oliver Stone on to talk about natural born killers and why people are drawn to serial killers and movies. And I was like, I did get a reply from like someone involved with him. Will he do it? I really don't think so, but who knows? I don't know. Why not?
You got to shoot your shot. You got to put it out in the universe.
Right.
That would be crazy. That would be honestly insane.
I didn't think Paul Schrader would come on, and he did. I didn't think Crispin Glover would come on for hours, and he did. So you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah. That would be so sick.
Yeah, it would be wild. Oh, I didn't think Lou Ferrigno would. So Lou Ferrigno, he can't do our normal Thursday show because he just can't do Thursdays. But we're gonna work it out, and he's gonna be on the show. He's really looking forward to it. It'll either be live another day, or it might have to be pre-recorded. But either way, Lou Ferrigno is coming on the show, and that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah,
talk about The Hermit.
Yeah, really fun movie.
Really fun movie.
We have the trailer up on the YouTube. It's got like an insane amount of hits, and it's got all these like it was cool. They sent it to us to post on Without Your Head, and so many of the comments think it's AI, like it's not a real trailer. And I'm just like, it doesn't even look like is it so out of the realm of possibility that Lou Ferrigno would be in a horror movie? Like, I don't know why it's so
that's
bizarre.
We should start that controversy though. Like The Hermit, AI or a real movie? You be the judge. Because
I'm not this anti-AI guy, but it does annoy me. I do a lot of the 8-bit characters. I do the horror guys. They sell really well on Amazon, by the way. And I've been doing some Dabbleverse ones, and so many people like accuse me. They say that's cool AI, and it's like they're not AI. They're handmade by me, pixel by pixel.
Well, there's going to be a new term coming up soon, which is going to be analog artist, and so you're gonna have to prove that you created it via
Someone
time
did
lapse.
ask me that, and then so I took screenshots, and then I'm like, why do I need to prove it to some random guy on Twitter for? Like,
got your ass.
Yeah.
Dragging you down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, see you. Here's screenshots of my. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I did have to do that one other time on Amazon though, because they said that they said like it. I don't know. They said that I used something, but I had to show them the the Adobe files to show that I actually made them.
Yeah, prove you're an analog artist, buddy. Come on, let's see it. Yeah, people are gonna have to start posting time lapses of their work just from start to finish.
There's a really good artist on our group who does like amazing work, and he mentions that a lot. That people just assume it's AI now because it's like photorealistic.
Yep. It's a rough world.
Yeah. It is. It's cool. I get it, but it can be disheartening at the same time. So I get both sides of it. It's not like I'm saying that AI should just take over, because I don't want that either. But you also can't just get rid of AI. So I think it can be used. So.
Dude, people are always gonna hate you no matter what, and not you, general you, but I always tell, because I've worked on some fun movies, and then I've worked on just some like god awful movies, and they're like, I'm getting slammed on IMDb right now. This is so disrespectful, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, even if you had like $400 million and then you made the next Star Wars and then you poured your heart and soul into it, 50% of the people would hate your guts. And it's unavoidable. So you just got to make stuff, man. It doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't. For people out there, if you're not aware, the internet it can be a negative place.
Yeah, but it can also be a beautiful place.
It can be. It can be. And no, not joking around. It definitely can be. So.
I even think that the negativity is kind of beautiful, because it's like there's something to criticism, even if it's coming from like, an upset, lonely person or something. It's like the criticism needs to be heard, and you need that to grow. You can't like make anything in the shadows. So I welcome it. I think the internet negativity is just it's just a reflection of humanity, dude. Mm-hmm. So it's like, can't take it, then you probably don't really like it on this earth.
By the way, when we talked about wrestling earlier, people don't know I used to do IYH Wrestling in Your Head Wrestling podcast. And a few weeks ago, my co-host from 22 years, rage quit live on the show, blocked me, has not contacted me since.
I feel bad for him, but it was a great clip.
It was a funny clip.
It's tough,
and
dude.
So,
it's tough.
So anyway, next week will be I did a short show since then, but next week will be the first show since that, like the first regular show.
Oh my God. I just had a great idea. We should do Without Your Head Court, and you should bring him on, and then you have to like defend, and then we'll have a judge that like makes the judgment at the end. But then you guys have to kind of decide who was right or who was wrong, and and then we just hash it out. I don't know if he would like that, but I would.
He probably won't do it because he's not talking. Someone did add us together in a group chat, because I have a couple other Facebook things, and he's not replied to anything. But he has told someone else who told me which I kind of figured anyway, but he quit over the AI videos that I popped up.
Well, that can be evidence that's brought to court.
Right.
Yeah, we can bring that all to Without Your Head Court.
Mm-hmm. Heady court,
baby.
They do have wrestlers court. I don't know if you're aware of this. Like the wrestler, like Undertaker would be the judge, and they'd get together backstage, and like if you lost, you usually like had to buy people beer or something like that. But
yeah, we can come up with some good sentencing.
I don't know if you know this, Tyler. You got to start attention into for new co-host. I'll be honest. If he doesn't come back, I'm just gonna do the show by myself. I don't know if something organically happens, but I'm not gonna try to get another co-host. But
But
he did get jealous over me doing. Well, he did get mad over me doing any Dabbleverse stuff, and he would always bring up that he was no longer my favorite John when I started doing shows with Stuttering John.
See, he should be allowed to state his case at least,
Right.
you know. And so that's what, like,
I maybe it's not jealousy, maybe it's something else.
Maybe it's something else, and maybe he's right, you know. But we won't know until we run it through the jury.
That's true. Yeah, I'm game. I'm up for it.
Could be so bad.
I'll agree to whatever the panel. We can get like people that we both agree, or like a jury of our peers. That could even be the show. You know, picking the jury, because it, like, you know, be like, I'm cutting. No, I don't trust this guy.
Well, and it's just like a real courtroom where like the news articles and the public opinion kind of sways what happens.
Have you ever had jury duty? Whenever I hear someone, my old co-host, he'd say, "Oh, she would love to be on jury duty." I was like, "Have you ever done it?" And she was like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah, that's evident, because it sucks." Jury duty is the most boring thing to ever get stuck on.
I don't know if I would be selected. I think as soon as I start opening my mouth and my all my like extremist thoughts start coming out, they'd probably be like, "Yeah, get this guy out."
I've been called. I was called the first year as eligible, and I get the thing every time I'm eligible. When you go though, you don't have to go for like 6 years after that. But so the first year I went, I was like, I guess I was 21 maybe, or I don't know if it was 18 or I think it was 21. And I was on the jury, and I was the foreman. I was the jury foreman.
Oh no!
And so it was, supposedly jury of your peers, and it was a young black guy, and I live in almost all like a 96% white area. A young black guy, and he was the defendant against this white girl. And it was the only people that were like under 70 was me and this one other girl, and the rest, everyone was white. All the jury's white, and all the rest of them were like these 70-year-old white women and white guys. And I was just like, I thought he was innocent, and I was like, I'm gonna be here forever, because there's no way these old white people are gonna be like not guilty. And I was wrong. Everyone agreed he was not guilty, which did make, I was like, oh wow, I have some faith in humanity. So I just assumed all the old white people would be like racist too, but apparently they weren't.
Well, that turned out really wholesome.
Yeah, it was a good. And I remember leaving, and the guy saw me when I was leaving. He's like, "Oh," and I don't think we're supposed to like really talk to him or whatever, but I was like, "Yeah, it's cool."
It's funny, like when you think a bunch of other people are going to be the piece of crap, and then you're like, "Oh, now I feel like the piece of crap."
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Oh shit!" I just assumed you guys were all racist.
Like, oh, my bad. Yeah, if you next time you get called for it, you're an actor now. So every question they ask you, just make sure you end every answer with, "Wow, this is just like a horror movie." and if you say that, every single question they ask you, you will be dismissed. Like they'll be like, "This guy, we can't. This guy literally thinks he's in a movie, and he's going to come in here juggling someone's fate in his hands."
But that was the only time I almost was on I've been called a lot of times, but usually it gets canceled, which is good. The one other time I was called in, but they did I don't know if it was the defendant or one of the lawyers kicked me off. So I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
It's funny because you're both happy, but there is part of you afterwards like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah, what's wrong with me? No, I wouldn't even give them a chance. I know exactly what they think is wrong with me, because I'm going in there my most unhinged. Like, I do not want to do this. I do not want to call out of work. I don't want to be here. This is terrible.
Oh, it sucks. The last time, which was, I think it was just last summer, and it was in Orleans, which is very far away from me. And so I kept calling because you got to call this number, and they kept saying everyone has to go. And so we went there. My brother drove me down, and then we asked, like, the bailiff was walking in, like, where do I go? And he's like, oh, over here. But didn't you know there is no jury today? It's been canceled. And I was like, and so then we drove around, and everyone was there. It was like 12 people waiting, and they just never updated the phone.
Nope.
It's
Nope.
like, gee, thanks.
Nope. I want no part. I would rage, dude.
Yeah, it was like a 40-minute drive down, like all the way down Cape, like almost to Provincetown.
I have no patience for that.
So
At
just go
all.
home. Like, gee, thanks, buddy.
Be like, yeah, I got jury duty, and then I ended up arrested because I was screaming at the courthouse.
The positive thing, though, I did get a thing in the mail after. It was like, since you did your jury, you won't be summoned for another 6 years.
Oh, thanks. The thing should have said 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I get every time I'm eligible, I get it, and I know people who's never gotten it. So,
well, just wait until those AI juries come out, and you'll never have to do it again, man.
No, part of that would be good in some level, but probably not good if I was ever. Oh, when I was in high school, I was a witness because it was a pretty bad story. A neighbor, so they were in my class, so they're seniors, and they had a kid together. And I thought it was cats fighting, and it was a woman screaming at my door, and the boyfriend was beating her, and
oh my God.
and so I brought her in my house, and she called the cops, and then the next day I found her hair in my driveway, like he pulled her hair out of her head, and I called the cops, and they could not care less. It was like, yeah, whatever. They're like, okay, like, isn't that like evidence or something? And they didn't care. And what really sucked was he was like a jock in my high school. He used to play basketball, and him and like the other jocks, they'd be like, when I was in class, they'd be like, that bitch didn't, she's just lying, and it was trying to get me to like not say anything and went to court.
Literally intimidating a witness.
Yeah,
it's insane.
And then she fled the state though, and like moved with her family, like took the kid and moved to another state, so she never showed up. But I remember the lawyer though telling me that I probably saved her life and stuff, which
that's crazy. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not a great story, but
I just realized I don't ever want to be a witness.
Yeah, it's not. I wasted a lot of time. I had to keep going, but she never showed up, which I don't blame her either. Like, it's probably best to just leave, especially with a young kid, baby.
Well, we got a new movie.
Yeah,
that's nuts. Yeah, that's so crazy. See,
I don't know whatever happened to. Hopefully, she's doing well. I don't know whatever. I think that kid actually got arrested a few years after that. I remember seeing in the paper or something.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's what we like.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it was shitty. So I don't know what else is going on, but Our Man Funk, I'm excited for people to see the trailer. Very proud of it. You did a great job on the trailer. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. I normally hate everything I do. I've watched that thing 100 times, so I think it's just because Jimmy shot it. I'm like, these shots are amazing. If I would have shot it, I'd have been like, this is garbage. Nobody should ever watch this.
I've had a few people reach out like, I won't share it or tell anybody send it to me, and I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not doing it. So
yeah,
I want you to know that I will not share it out or anything.
Yeah, that's also human nature. It's a dead link now, so it just I know it probably leaked, and that's fine. That's kind of cool, It's like if people weren't leaking it, I would be kind of disappointed. Like I'd be like, damn, what's wrong with me? I'm not good enough to be leaked.
Dude.
Yeah, come on.
No, I did not. Part of me wanted to show it to a couple people, but I didn't.
Yeah, it'll be out super soon. And
That's
so
what I
it's
figured too. So
yeah, and then we can show it. We can put it up on the channel. But I am excited to show it. We just there's some things I gotta be tightened up a little bit on the technical side before it gets out there. But it's very exciting.
Mhm.
Arm & Funk 2026.
I'm very excited. Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff, and lots of cool stuff we have planned for Without Your Head, the show itself. A lot of fun stuff around that. Send me a message. I know a few people have. If you'd like to join the Discord, I'll send you guys a link, and I'm gonna. It'll be public soon enough, but it'd be cool to get a few people in there before we make it like a link everywhere.
Yeah, and that'll also get leaked, but it's all right.
Yeah, I just sent it to. I'll just send people I trust. But yeah, who knows? But people are like, well, I trust this person. I trust, and then eventually you send it to somebody you think you trust. And then,
it's like it's dominoes, dude.
Yeah.
But it's the interesting thing. People are so interesting. So I'm like, yeah, everything's a science experiment. That's what this whole planet is. Let's keep doinking around.
So I don't know I don't know who's on the live show next week. We'll figure it out. I agreed to like 1 million interviews because I like doing them. So they'll pop up throughout the week. Julie Pacino is going to be on. That's pretty cool. Al Pacino's daughter. I don't want her to be known as that, but she made a new horror movie that comes out soon. So that's going to be pretty cool. Oh, you muted, I believe.
What's it called?
Let me grab the name of it quick. Excuse me. It played a bunch of festivals.
The Turn. The Turn.
Is that what someone's saying in there?
Is that the name of the movie?
No. Oh, I live here now. It looks pretty cool. So I'll be watching that. I think I'm interviewing her Monday, so I'll be watching that soon.
Nice. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, me too.
Pacino, let's go.
Yeah.
Don't do a hoo-ah! Don't do that. It's gonna be tempting. Don't do that.
All right. So we'll be back next week for the live show, and there'll be some interviews popping up. I don't know. I might pop up live sometime. You never know what will happen here.
Old girl will be back.
Yeah, old girl will be back.
In the flesh. Stuff. We miss old girl and Troy. We need our trusty, dusty crew. You know what I mean?
All right. I've got a short outro. We did a short intro with Doug Bradley. I'm gonna make some more of these. I've got a ton of. I wish I would have kept these up. Because the first, up until 2019, before we were video, I have liners from all the guests, but they're harder to do now on the video. But anyway, we're going to play us out with the Adrienne Barbeau liner, where she talks about, she does the line that I asked her to do, which made me very happy. All right. So until next time, this is Nasty Neil.
I'm your cousin AJ.
And this is Without
Your
Head.
Hi, this is Adrienne Barbeau. Just call me Billy. Everyone does. And you're listening to WithoutYourHead.com.